Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Hey, Astro Cop. Can you just confirm if you can hear me or not, mate, if that's possible? George, how's it going? Stan, good to see you, mate. Sam, evening. Confirm, fantastic. Appreciate that, mate. Excellent. Wow, I'm early. How's it going, Rose? Nice to join in, buddy. Liberty Astro, thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. So, Clay night, let's have some fun. I think we're just about due a target change because I will just quickly show you, if I can. We were taking some data on M101. And I've just about finished it, I reckon. We had an unexpected clear night last night, so I just let the rigs run till dawn, shooting it. And then we had another session before that, just little bits here and there, and this is what we came up with. So the Hyperstar has produced this, if we just take a quick look. So this is the 585 on the Hyperstar, M101, beautiful image, loads of colour, loads of detail. I'm not willing to double it. I think it's kind of time to move on to another target now. We don't get enough clear skies to focus too long on stuff, so we'll show you that a bit more later anyway. But yeah, it's time to pick a target, so let's get on with that. How's it going, Gideon? I'll just say hello to people as we're getting set up. Thanks so much for jumping in, by the way, guys. It's really nice of you to come join. I'll get the chat panel, if I can, pop out chat on the screen. Here we go. So let's just see. Oh, right then, guys. How's it going, Pete? Gideon got the YouTube notification and was like, well, I better know what that is. That's fair enough for us. Yeah, your notifications are working again for me, by the way, mate, now. I need to watch the video, but they are working. It's good to say. Hadabadi Astro, how's it going, mate? Hopefully I got your name correctly there. Hello from India, got you. Stunning night here in Scotland. Scopes imaging away on M81. Very nice, George. Good to hear that. Still working on IC443 until it disappears. Yeah, can't blame you, mate. Make the most of it. Caveman Maben, how's it going, buddy? I've been seeing some of your work on the Discord. You know, publishing the news stuff. Thank you for doing that, mate. Scott Noel, how's it going, mate? Hey there, homie. Finally able to catch another live. Pleasure, mate. Nice you to come join us. Mike, nice to see you. Continuing M51, M101, M106. Okay, so I tell you what, someone suggested during one of the previous live streams a target which I'd actually like to hit once again. So we're going to choose a target for the Hyperstar now. But I think where we should perhaps put some of our effort would be NGC 3718. So I'll just try and get that up on Stellarium for us, and we can see roughly where it's placed and go from there. But yeah, it's a reasonably challenging target, I would say, but I think it's doable for us. And it's 3718. I do believe it's 3718 anyway. So yeah, it's up there in Ursa Major, and it looks a bit like this. Pretty interesting target. Quite faint overall, but yeah. Let's see how that thing frames up. And yes, we can check out the new pictures on the Discord. Absolutely, mate, we can do that. But for now, I'll just get this framing kicked off. So NGC 3718. And load. Let's see. So we're just hitting astronomical darkness now. It's interesting how quickly this is shortening up, by the way. It's over now just before 4 in the morning. Of course, when we get to the middle of summer here in the UK, there is no black bar, there is no astronomical darkness. I'm happy with that, I reckon. Looking at the framing, it is the feature in it, the main feature in this thing. So it's pointless moving it around and trying to get anything else nearby in. So yeah, tell you what, legacy sequence, and let's just go on this thing. Slew to center, start guiding, autofocus on start, every degree, and we'll set up just a massive loop, 500 frames, 60 seconds each, dither every 4 frames. I think that'll do us quite nicely. Cool, unpack, meridian flip, that's all fine. Sorry, I'm just talking aloud as I as I do this. Let you guys know exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, but that looks good. Go hit for imaging, kick this one off. Next thing we need to do, guys, is pick another target now for the SQA and the mini mono rig, the 585 mono. So that's on the agenda. That's the next thing we can do. We'll probably employ a bit of what's it called again? Stellarium. Why were that evading me? We'll use Stellarium in a moment and try to get that figured out too, and see what we can image. But there it is, just as it's framing up. It's ever so slightly out of focus, but it'll run through a focus routine, of course. For us, I'll just try to get caught up a little bit with chat. Which Pete? There's a few here. Usually when I just say Pete, I mean Pete's astrophotography there. He's been a hell of a long time watcher and supporter of my channel, so he calls himself Pete. I call him Pete. We're all good. But if you want to be called Pete as well, Peter, I can try to remember. Adama Skeeto. Hi Luke, how's it going, mate? Just got my dwarf free today. You persuaded me to buy to buy it, and also Clay Knight. That's awesome, mate. Yeah, I think the dwarf free, it really is an interesting little scope, and it's it's miles better than the dwarf 2, which I enjoyed in its own right. But this feels like next level. Really, it does. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it. The M101 one looks great. Thank you, Ruz. Trying no filter tonight to see how the colours look. Good stuff. I've always found, to be honest with you, Ruz, that light pollution filters, they're all right, but just best results come for me from UV IR whenever I'm shooting broadband targets, even with my light pollution as it is. Yeah, you know what I mean? Windy and cloudy Houston, Texas. Nice one. Hopefully those winds and clouds won't become a problem, Houston. Sorry. Terrible. Sebastian, how's it going? Pierluigi de Loris, greetings from Italy. How's it going, mate? Nice of you to join in, and we've got people from all over the planet here tonight. It's really cool. Get a notepad and a calculator. Haven't been imaging of late, says Sam. Okay. My trial of Pixie site ran out and all the other options pale in comparison. Guess I need to save up that $1. Yeah, to be honest, mate, that's, it sucks, but it kind of is the gold standard when it comes to processing. You can get, pretty images. I'm not going to try and say you can't. You absolutely can process pretty images in other software, but if you want that ultimate control, Pixie site, man. You know what I mean? It's got to be. I wish it weren't that way, but it is. Nick P, how's it going? Nice to see you, buddy. Gideon, got a Discord notification, not a YouTube one. Okay, Gideon, that's interesting to know. But you have the bell icon ticked. YouTube is broken in some ways. I think what it is, if you don't interact with like every notification you get for a little while for a channel, it can, in the background, just turn them off and stop serving you those notifications. Because obviously, you're probably like me, you're subscribed to 100+ people, so if you got notifications for everyone all the time, it'd be a bit of a notification fest. So I think it runs a little bit like that, so it could just be that kind of thing. But either way, happily Discord let you know. That's really good. Liberty Astro saying great timing, just finished watching Simon's Astro Pass video. Yes, I saw that pop up, mate. I need to get that watched. I've been really enjoying watching people's PAS videos. For those of you who don't know, by the way, PAS, just Practical Astronomy Show. A astronomy show here in the UK, basically. I couldn't make it this year. My son just wouldn't be able to travel that far, unfortunately, but maybe next year. We will see. Alan, Pabs Astro, good evening, Luke. Good evening, Alan. Hope you and your family are well. We are well indeed, mate. Thank you for asking. Hope the same for you. Back on the tadpoles today. Got 30 5-minute subs. Very nice. Before the clouds rolled in. Hoping for a better night tonight. Good luck for that, Alan. Yeah. Good going. You got the name right. Good stuff. Gideon Sanders, check out the new pictures on Discord. I answered that. Yes, we will absolutely be doing that. So if you guys have got any new images you want to show off on the Discord, now's the time to get them posted. I will try to get you a link for the Discord just posted in a sec. Mundo, hang on. I'll get this sorted out. As those of you who don't know, we do have a Discord channel. Very handy stuff. Let's just get you an invite link made. Should be right. Get this pasted in chat and see if we can pin it. Whoops. Pin message. There you are. So at the top, if you click that link, you can get an invite to the Discord server and post your images over in. Drag this onto the screen for you real quick, so you can see there's a load of stuff being posted. It's really lovely to see people are active on this. You know what I mean? But here we are, Astro Images. Take a look through what's been put on here and have some fun. Also, we'll take another look at Astro Gear. You know, if you guys have got any new gear and things like that you want to show off, we're going to be taking a look at that too. The last person's rig that we looked at was this one, Lubo in China, so I know where to kind of start from next time around. But yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy a bit of that later, backed by popular demand. Basically. Right then, so this looks like it's kicked itself off. We're up and running and it's taking subs. How do these subs look? Actually better than I thought. There's a little group of galaxies, a little cluster just down there. You can see it almost looks like they're connected, and we can see just the faintest bit of the shape of this galaxy. Hopefully that's coming through for you through YouTube's compression, OBS's compression as well, and making it to your eyes with any luck. But that looks promising. I have to say, if single 1 minute subs look like that, 400 of them or something like that, it's going to look pretty damn good. Something else we can do on this this live stream, if you have any interest, once we've got things up and running, is perhaps do a live process through on a target of people's choosing. I've just got that new M101 data. We could perhaps post a link to that and have a not a challenge, but a run through just on stream of that, and then maybe I'll make a video later down the line and do a processing challenge on it as well. If anybody can come up with a good name for a hashtag to use for that, that could be interesting. But as it is, let me just pop up the YouTube chat again. We'll have a little catch up, and then let's find a target for the SQA 55. Let's just get caught up. Very sorry about this, guys. I'm already behind, but I will do my best to catch up properly with you. OTS Cymax, evening mate. 3718 is a great target. Yes, Locaton. It's should be good. If you're able to get the dim title stream around it, would be awesome. I'd love to. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to. Nick P says, this will be my first summer imaging starting in November. Nice. I'd wondered what it would be like with so short nights. Anything else to be aware of? Not much, mate, to be honest. Just try to time what you're shooting for when it's most advantageous to you. Don't jump on stuff too soon, you know, when it's very low in the sky, otherwise you're really going to be up against it. Wait for things to make themselves well placed, if at all possible. Though if you are imaging from the UK, mate, not everything's going to rise to a good position, so sometimes you have to take what you can get, especially on some of the famous summer nebulae targets such as M16, the Eagle Nebula, that kind of thing. You just have to do your best when it comes to that kind of target. But yeah, hopefully that helps answer a little bit. If you got anything specifically you're worried about, Nick, ask away, mate, and we'll all do our best to try and help you. Ruz just says there, yeah, heat. If you're using an uncooled camera, the warmth can impact the amount of noise in your images. Christoph, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you in a live stream. What's in the SQA 55 filters and camera? Gideon, good question. I should have mentioned that. It's running the 585 mini mono from QHY, the Minicam 8, and that's what we've got set up on that thing. How's working the observatory? Already done. Yeah, it's been done a couple of years, mate, to be honest. I did publish a video on my channel showing you the build and basically like what it was like that first month that I had it up and running, but I have to say I'm really dead pleased with it. It cost a lot of money to put together, did the observatory, but I'm very pleased. Just really happy with the money I spent. Oh, crikey. We've had a very kind gift there. Scott Noel, thank you very much indeed for that, mate, with 5 gifted memberships to the community. So welcome aboard, Noddy, Motley, Alex, Quantum, and Doug. Thank you again, Scott. Really appreciate that, buddy. Says Astro stuff's getting better and better. I've yet to try it. Would you believe it? I'm absolutely shocking. My game tag is Acid Tab. You can use that, crikey. Rob Barter, how's it going, Rob? Ben McLaren says, got to find someone that can help me from getting more Astro gear. Oh dear. Well, it's a nice problem, isn't it? You know, just figuring out what you're going to buy next. Manuel Alejandro, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you. It's a pleasure to have all you guys here from all over the globe joining us for these live streams now. It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, we'll leave it at there. Liberty Astro is where we were just catching up, says Astro stuff, and I will now pull onto screen. Yink. Let's just get this one. It needs sound effects, by the way, otherwise dragging and dropping don't work very well. We need to pick a target, basically, for all the nonsense I'm talking. That's the key thing. So I will simulate the field of view. We'll see what's, you know, roughly positioned. And if we can't find anything, we'll just have to shoot more data on M101. But I don't know. I would like to try and get something else. Now, all this is now a bit low, unfortunately. This is blocked off. Around this way, you can imagine a big tree line. I really need to take a photo and paste it in. Can't believe I haven't done that yet. What do we have? What do we have? Hey, this year I'm going to get a good photo of a cluster as well. I'd love to get a nice zoomed in shot on Hercules or something like that. I think that'd be lovely to do. Is there anything new up in Ursa Major that we could hit? It's a tough one, this. Choosing a target for such a short focal length is a bit of a bugger, to be honest with you. It's going to be a bit too small, I should say. Any suggestions going on in the chat? I'll just scroll down a moment. Owl Nebula, Owl and Surfboard. That's possible, you know. Possible. We've shot Bodes, Gideon. Do believe we've shot that with it. Good evening, DP John. How's it going, mate? I will pull chat back on screen in just a moment, so we can get through this together. But M81, M82, I think I could have sworn I captured some data on this already on the SQA. Where is it now? Oh, video project there. Next video coming up, by the way. 6-month review on the FF80. Spoilers. Crikey. Come on, Lukey boy, where is it? Now, yes, we've got this so far, but I need to restack the data. Something's gone wrong with it during stacking and it's not usable. There's like a background texture to the whole thing, which looks a bit weird, but yeah, so this is SQA55 mini mono data. Shows promise, but needs, like I say, restacking with different parameters. I also gathered 16 minutes. They're 2-minute subs, aren't they? On the Cygnus wall. Just using that mini mono and the SQA. Look at that, 16 minutes of HA, and it's already looking pretty cool. This is just, of course, the stacked file, no processing at all. Well, that bodes well for some summer targets, I think, we're going to be able to hit up with this thing. Home Observatory, welcome to Universal Supporter. Welcome aboard, mate. Thank you for joining my channel membership system. Really, really appreciate your support. We need to pick a target, guys. I'm struggling with this. I could try going after M51, but is it just going to be too small to bother, do you think? Or should I just put more time on M101? That bodes well indeed, it does, mate. Sorry for the question about the observatory. I saw your old video today. Fair enough. Looks like I watch your videos very carefully and thoroughly. No problem, Christoph. Yeah, I'm just really happy with it, mate. All in. I've changed the deco very slightly over the time, but not much. I think it's been completed 2.5 years now, or something like that. Maybe a bit longer. Thor's helmet just a touch low, unfortunately, buddy. Heart and soul out of view for me right now, Alan. Inside the house. M106. Ooh. Is that going to be too small? I don't know. Well, just M106. Yeah, you could capture it, couldn't it? But I'm not sold. I'm having trouble really picking this thing. Just for now, I think I will maybe try and go after the whale and crowbar. How about that? That should be a nice little framing. So we'll go NGC 4656, and we'll try and frame it up from there. If I could find out where my 4656. Will it just find Whale Galaxy? Yeah, it will. Right, hopefully you're okay with this suggestion. Thank you, by the way, for taking the time to offer some suggestions. I really need to plug in my my position onto Stellarium so you guys can see roughly what's visible for me. And oh, crikey. Pete, mate, you absolute legend. Pete, Astrophotography, coming in with 50 gifted memberships. Bloody hell. Oh, mate, thank you so much for that, Pete. That's an unbelievable amount of support. How could I possibly thank you enough? I couldn't, mate. I couldn't. I hope one day we'll meet and I'll get to actually shake your hand at the very least. I think more likely give you a big hug. But yeah, awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Pete, and welcome aboard all the new members. I will pull this onto screen in just a moment so you can see the wondrous influx of members. That's absolutely wild. How do you think we should shoot this, by the way? Is it worth adding in any HA, perhaps, or not? I don't know. I think we'll autofocus every degree. We will run a loop. Yeah, I think we'll run a loop. See about getting this thing set up then. Do every 3 subs. Apologies about this, guys. I'm just trying to figure out where to go from here on this. So I'm going to kick things off with luminance. We'll go L, 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 RGB, HA. So 4 L's. Red, green. Oops. This way we can't get gazumped by bad skies, do you know what I mean? We'll always basically have something to work with, no matter at which point we cut this thing off. So LLL, RGBH. We only need to be dithering on one of those L's. We'll dither every second time we reach that, so that's once every 8 frames. On there. Whale Galaxy. Sorry about this. I will be able to catch up with you properly in just a moment. I'm happy with the framing at that anyway, so yeah, let's hit that up, I'd say. That's saved. I just did it. Play. Let's let that thing kick off. Right. Chat time. Let's get caught up. Sorry about this, guys. We did properly leave it last time with... ICC 443, an option for the 55. It's just about out of the way for me now, Gideon. It's a bit hard to reach some of these things. I'd get a little bit of time on it, I'm not going to lie, but not enough really to make anything work. Ben McLaren, what I need is someone to whack me with a plastic bat whenever I look at Gina. Oh, mate. What are we looking at? It's sunny up north. So right now we're looking at NGC 3718, just individual images coming in on the screen. It's not looking too great, admittedly, right now. Oh, how's it going, Chris? Just seeing you there. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a live stack running on stuff like this. I've also set up another thing to show you as well in just a moment. So a very nice app pass, nearly 14k. Jeepers creepers, mate. That's not cheap, is it? But I tell you, I'll show you also what I've been working on. So the little planetary camera, we should be able to, hopefully without interrupting what's going on in the Nina sequence, should be able to have a bit of a better eye on the sky with this thing. So the 676MC, when I was reviewing that, of course, it came with a fisheye lens. So hopefully, if we just boost the gain a little bit, there you have it. The night sky from my location. You can hopefully see what's going on there. Would you rather go maybe with a slightly brighter view than that? I don't know. We'll say go 4 seconds and see what we can pick out on this. But yeah, I just thought this would be a bit of fun rather than having it laying around largely unused. You can see both rigs. This is the northernmost pier, southernmost pier, just right there. The sky's straight above the observatory outer wall, my doorway that's open, and I've just realised the light is still on as well. Alexa, turn off the observatory light. Apologies to anybody out there who's got another observatory light, and I've just turned it off for you. We should see that go off in just a moment. But yeah, I've got another rig running outside too at the same time. That's the... I've actually changed things over on that now. The 2600 Air I've got running on the ASCII 120 Apo, so I've been a busy little bee, to be honest, these past few days. Right, let's catch up just a little bit. Trying to save up for the Apo 103, says Gideon. Okay. Why is this hobby so expensive? It is, mate. Yeah, I'll just see upper management before me asking why I only have expensive hobbies. They're the best ones usually, aren't they, though? Let's be fair. Got to get out with that C-Star S30, says Cosmic Ray. Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to the EQ firmware for the C-Stars. I think that's going to change things a good bit, to be honest. Jeremy Higginson is on M101 tonight. Very nice, Jeremy. Good choice of target, mate. Perfectly placed, really, to be getting some time. As you can see right there as well, it's picking up constellations pretty well. So, some major right there. Awesome stuff. Kieran Williams, good evening, Luke and chat. How's it going, Kieran? Nice of you to join us. What are we looking at? So now you can see, Tiff, we're looking at this time. So I'm sorry I'm so late. I will catch up. I'm going to really push to catch up a little bit now. So, Captain Tech Review, been thinking of getting another mount, but ZW has recently raised the price on the AM5N by 25% in the States. That said, how is it trying to manage 2 rigs running at once? To be honest, mate, it's really no different to running 1 rig when you've not got fires to put out. But if things are going wrong, it is a nightmare, and you'll wish you were just running 1 reliable rig. But, you know what I mean? If you've got gear hanging around and the only thing stopping you from mobilising it is another mount to put it on or something, then it does make a lot of sense, I would say. So, yeah, I think you're looking along the right lines, by the way, as well. AM5N, cracking mount. I'm just about to pay ZWO the money to keep mine rather than handing it back now the review period is over. Mike Smith, how's it going, Mike? My first time saying hello. Well, very welcome indeed. Mike, it's lovely to join us. Thank you for saying hello. Watched a couple of bits of your live streams and a load of your YouTube videos. Ah, superb, mate. Thanks for all your advice and help. That's awesome to hear. Thank you very much indeed, Mike. Ride the Liger, will you do live stacking on the Hyperstar? Can do, mate. Yeah, if you'd like to see that. We'll have to, of course, turn this off and crack on with that. But, yeah, I think it's a nice view, an interesting shot. See what power supply I use as well. And Nevada. What are the targets for tonight, says Kieran? Well, I think we're just about settled now, Kieran. So it's NGC 3718, a very beautiful, obscure-looking galaxy up in Ursa Major, around about here, if you can see those stars on screen. That's on the Hyperstar rig right there that we're looking at. The little SQA 55 rig with the tennis ball on the end of the counterweight shaft, so I'll stop banging my head on it. That's now up and running on the Whale and the Crowbar Galaxy, so I'm going to try and image that in LRGB HA. 10-inch Ioptron came in, somehow one ended up being on my porch. Oh no, Ben. Isn't it awful when things just get diverted in shipping like that and arrive in your garden? Oh well. Congratulations though, mate, in seriousness. Willie, how's it going, Willie? Thank you again for that gift, by the way, Scott. That's really, really kind of you, mate. It is appreciated. 3718 is looking really good. Thank you, Rose. I think it's a lovely target, and I'm hoping, just praying that we could do it some justice. It's a hard target, I reckon, for such light blued skies, but we'll do what we can. All depends on how stable they are. Got you there. Yeah, that's true. We were talking about there, Mike, for running 2 rigs. IC443, an option. I'm going to have to go close my observatory door. There's lights spilling in from outside. Just 2 seconds. Ah, I'm back. Right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's a bit better now. Should protect our rigs from a bit more stray light with any luck. Should make sure this live stream software is running properly still. It's a bit sketchy sometimes, this. We've suffered quite a few crashes over time, but anyway, it appears to be I'll be alright right now. I am catching up. We're on a big push. Hopefully you guys are okay with this. I love my TubeTech cams. Good stuff. Yeah, no wrong with them, mate. Very tempted to upgrade to the TubeTech 585M with filter bundle. Not sure on the shipping and taxes to the UK. Nobody can say, to be honest, Kieran. I've ordered stuff myself from overseas and been taxed fully. Hey, look at this. What's going on there? Ordered stuff and it's been arrived at, like, took a 20 quid fee to get to my door because they've undeclared its value. You can never really truly figure out what's going to happen until you order it, mate, unfortunately. Baby asleep? He is indeed asleep. Chloe's looking after him just in the house, mate. So yeah, I thought, why not strike while the iron's hot and get a little live stream done, chill out with you guys for a while. Shalom Holmes. Okay, how you doing, Steve? Is that Sherlock Holmes's, like, Jewish brother or something like that? Peter Baldwin, how's it going, Pete? Ben, just caught up with this. Galaxy clusters, please. It's something we can potentially do, Tiffs. Yeah, we can have a look a little bit later on, probably, at some galaxy clusters. Perhaps Markarian's chain would be a favourite for that. I'll say hello now, and when I'm back in 20 minutes, I should catch Luke's hello. Actually accurate, you bugger. But yeah, it's true, it's accurate. Red Panda, how's it going? Owl Nebula, that were a suggestion when we were picking targets. Been using APP for stacking, thinking to get Pixie Sight. Pixie Sight seems to become mandatory these days, kind of a big investment. It is a big investment, but the way how I always try to frame it, I don't think you could spend, let's say, 200, I think it's like 220 quid here for me in the UK is what I paid anyway. Regardless, I don't think you could spend 220 quid on anything else in the astronomy world and get quite so big of an image quality upgrade as you do from purchasing Pixie Sight. And further than that as well, the tools, you know, like the real good stuff, the Russell Croman BlurXTerminator, NoiseXTerminator, StarXTerminator. Again, I've never spent cash on something and seen such a big image quality boost as I have with those things. So software is honestly, arguably equally important with hardware these days, maybe even more so, to be honest with you. So we had some suggestions going on. So thank you again for those, by the way, guys. Good evening, DP John. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you. I remember reading that, talking about Thor's helmet. We tried that the last live stream, unfortunately. Go for the Owl Nebula tonight, says John. Nice one. Blood Sticker, good to see you. You've been a long time supporter and viewer of the channel. I remember that name. Shooting SH2 to 90, very faint nebula, says Manuel. Very nice. I don't know it off by heart what that one is, so I'll have to check that out perhaps. Mike Smith just got the TubeTech 585M and a 1.25 inch filter wheel. First mono camera, no idea what I'm doing. Brilliant. Hey, learning is half of the fun. It really, really is. Sorry for the question about the observatory. I remember catching up with that bit as well, Christoph. We are getting there. Love my FF80. Yeah, it's a wonderful telescope, mate. No two ways about it. Black Eye Galaxy. Oh, yeah, we were just picking targets when we still went to pass on Saturday, says Jeremy. I think I've met you, Jeremy. I'm certain that I've met you, in fact. Did we chat after having dinner in the hotel one night? Because your name rings a bell. Got the new Altair LRGB, SHO filters plus a new filter. Nice one. Anyway, yeah, that's a fruitful journey then, mate. Hopefully you got a little bit of a show discount on them as well, I would hope. Captain Tech Review, talking to Mike. Oh yeah, to be honest as well, another tip for the person who asked about running 2 rigs at once. I think if you are going to start to seriously consider running 2 rigs, probably at least have one of your rigs be something that's like giga reliable, like a refractor, as you just don't want to have to be messing around with two, collimatable telescopes and stuff, I reckon, because it could happen that, you end up with a shift and both of them need doing one night, and that'll just be a bad time. But yeah, that'd be my approach. Always make sure that at least one of your rigs is something you can fully depend on. So much to shoot, so little time. That is big true. Yes, indeed. How's it going, Kenneth? Good evening to you too, mate. Triangulum, that's down, unfortunately, for me now. Out of the way. The Felix Nebula. Well, I've got a name there, mate, for if I do discover a nebula one day, eh? How's it going, Mel? Nice to see you. The Leo Trio, yeah. Oh, thank you again, by the way, Pete. Bloody heck, mate. That is just above and beyond, and I really do appreciate your support for me, my family, and my channel, buddy. I really do. I hope you know that. Welcome aboard, all the new members. Good grief, Pete. Yeah. Whale and Crowbar sounds like a UK pub. It does a bit, doesn't it? Off down to Whale and Crowbar for a pint. Flaming Star, IC405, Drunk Cola. Good to see you, by the way, buddy. The madman. Pete is the man with a plan. Indeed. Rob Barter says, filters. Let's see. What would you recommend if upgrading the standard ZV with filters, 7nm ones? Do 3nm filters make a big difference? I have a FRA 600 and an Edge HD 11. They do make a big difference, Rob. Yeah. If they fit comfortably into your budget, then do it. Absolutely. Typically as well, you will find, at least in my, I want to say limited, but I have tried a few 3nm filters now. In my experience anyway, 3nm filters tend to be, because they're higher priced, higher spec, made that little bit better as well, so you telly have less issues with halos and things like that you might find on cheaper end filters. So it's a bit of a double whammy. Telford, how's it going, Telford? Evening, Luke. Good to be imaging with you tonight. I'm on the tadpoles tonight. Good stuff. From the comfort of my front room. Brilliant. You gotta love that. Whoops. I'm on a push. We are catching up. The man, the legend, and the cam, Pete. Yes, indeed. We do still have, of course, Pete's cam right there. Which is a little bit behind on time, unfortunately. I wonder if I can just refresh it for us. May have discovered a hack here. Yeah, that refreshes it, so I have to turn it off, turn it back on. Who'd have thunk it? The classic method of tech support. Have you tried turning it off and back on? But yeah, Pete's cam over there. We've got a second view now of the observatory. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this view as well. You can see what's going on. A looperoni. We did need to set up a looperoni. You're quite right. You still guide? Yes, indeed. Because you don't have to. So you've got a what is it called now? An absolute encoder mount, I suppose. And a stretcheroonie. These are the professional terms, Gideon. It's good to see that you've remembered those. How's it going, Ram? Nice to see you in another stream, buddy. Astro Chaps, bring some clear skies here in Sicily. You don't have clear skies in Sicily. That is surprising. Then again, I suppose small island, isn't it? So you probably get a lot of sea threats and things like that. Just guessing, anyway. But yeah, you don't spin like us guys. For me, False Helmet is just barely over the wall. Yeah, I tried hitting it, Ben. I'd love to hit that target. I really, really would, but we slewed to it during the last live stream, and unfortunately, the Edge HD was kind of pointing partway through the observatory wall just here, so the aperture was a bit blocked, and it was just going to get worse, unfortunately. But yeah, if you have a secure area, then leave your rigs set up. Yeah, that would be cool. I'd just have total eggs, I think, mate, about leaving rigs set up, rather than like inside locked up. That kind of thing. Do you still need the all-sky camera I am building for you, says Cosmic Ray? I would love the all-sky camera, Ray. I really, really would, mate. All this is, you can see literally the USB connecting it right there. It's just a short USB connected up to a 676 that's sat on the shelf that I have all my accessories on my my pier. So it's just a 676 sat on its back with an all-sky lens on. Pretty cool, but it's allowing us to see. I don't know if you guys can make these out, perhaps. Small little transient bits and bats, such as this little guy just steadily streaking across the sky right there. Pretty nifty, I think. Hopefully it's coming through for you, even through compression. I could probably tighten up this view a little bit, I imagine. Jeepers creepers, Luke. Maybe a 66% view and we'll get more of the sky. Is that any better for you guys, or he's going to make reading chat hard now? I don't know. That's the interesting bit in it, let's be honest. So let's just finish catching up. We're nearly there. Look at this. So yes, I mean, Ray, honestly, mate, if you've got someone else who needs it, by the way, though, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, if you were still on me building it, I would love to have that. It'd be an awesome addition. Astrophotography, those Nevada supplies are great. Used them for the longest time. Buddy, me as well. Honestly, I can't knock it at all. It's just been faultless, to be honest. It gives you a proper voltage and all, regulated 13.8 volts, which I really needed for my EQ8 because it just doesn't like running on anything less than 13 plus volts. So 13.8 is perfect for it. And it's still within acceptable range for powering stuff like an ASI Air. They can work up to like 14.4 or something like that, I think, the upper limit for voltage on those. But yeah, it's good stuff. Use Nina heavily now. Been managing 2 profiles in Nina for PhD for each scope. Nice. Astronut, so appreciate you sharing your journey, knowledge and experience. That's awesome of you to say, mate. Thank you. Nice knowing you have challenges like us. Absolutely, I do. Yeah, last night, actually, while setting up, unexpected clear night session, so I thought, right, let's kick things off. I honestly spent, well, I nearly said 2 hours. I think that'd be an exaggeration. Probably 90 minutes trying to get things up and running that should just work. But tonight it's been largely pretty easy, but it just shows you've done it gear where nothing changes really between sessions, and you can end up having to be tech support for yourself every now and again, just randomly. Evening all, says Steve. Nice to see you, Steve. M101 for you tonight. Still got 10 hours of bodes to process as well. That should be nice. Finally bought the Wanderer Astro Auto flat panel. Cool. So now I have a fully automated rig. I did notice that in their Empire software that it looks like they're developing an automated tilt adjuster as well. That should be an interesting little bit of kit there, Scott. Good evening, Corin. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're fully recovered now from journeying down to Pass. Well, up to Pass, I suppose, for you. Volcano. Hi, maybe a bit off topic / too technical. Recently I noticed that my flat calibrated lights from a DSLR have an intense red hue. Have you encountered this before? Could be thermal noise, to be honest, mate. Oftentimes you'd imagine noise would manifest as, well, like this, mottled colour, but thermal noise in particular can come up like red on a DSLR. I've found that before. So I had a Canon, what was it now, 100D unmodified, and I tried that for astrophotography, and during the summer all my subs had like a reddish hue from thermal noise, and I don't know, that's what I found. Maybe someone else has found a similar thing, but hopefully you should be able to balance it out with balancing your images, color calibrating rather. That's the proper term. Just a quick look at this data capture. It all appears to be going off fine, I would say. So perhaps we could kick off a live stack on this or something. Not sure about the scene conditions tonight. It looks a little bit so-so, I want to say. Not the sharpest I've seen things, but it looks like the focus worked properly, so I'm pretty confident it's not that. Let's check in on rig number 2. Sure enough, there we are. If we just take a look at one of these L frames. Whoops. Yep, an L frame. Hey, nice. Whale and crowbar. Just popping up for us to see. Good stuff. That actually framed all right. I think that's going to look decent. What's the rotation on this thing? 270. Okay, so 90. Fine. I'll get back on with catching up with chat as I was doing. I feel such a good job. Be a shame to drop the ball now. Oh, blimey. What's happened here, Pete? My God, mate. What on earth? I'm going to quit my job and work for Pete's Astrophotography. Bloody hell. Oh, mate, thank you so much. That's incredible. Welcome aboard all the new members. Thanks to Pete. Blimey. To be honest, I'm having trouble trying to figure out how I'm going to fit these members into credits now. What a nice problem to have. Pete, mate, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you know how genuinely I appreciate all the support that you've given, because I know it's by any means, no small amount of money to do that. So, bloody heck. I appreciate it, mate. I really, really do. That's throwing me off a little bit. What were I saying? We were catching up, weren't we? I'm going to try to catch up that little bit. I don't want to miss... Milkman's got a question there as well. We will get to that as well. Thank you again. Unbelievable. That's completely thrown me. You've thrown me off now, Pete. Didn't even see Luke. He's the Flash. I am a Flash, mate. Yeah, super fast. Michelle Burgo. Hi, Michelle from Italy. Looking to your videos. Hey, thank you for enjoying my videos, mate. Appreciate your support. Question. Is there a way to transfer image plate solving data into the framing in Nina? When you're setting up the framing tool, you can kind of translate which angle you would like. Let me just try to demonstrate that for you a second, Michelle, if I can. Am I up and running on here? Is this it? Yeah. So when you're using the framing wizard, you can determine what rotation you actually want to run at, and you can set that rotation from within here using their like rotation tool where it'll take an image. You can rotate, take an image, etc., and get yourself framed up like that. Is that what you mean? Because you can simulate different angles with that thing. Hopefully that's what you mean. If not, I'm afraid I might be having a bit of trouble answering that one for you, but hopefully someone understands the question a little bit better than me. Where the heck did I put that? There we go. I like this view. I'm enjoying this view, to be honest with you. I don't know about you guys, but something to look at. Just spent an hour looking at Jupiter. You still got a good visual on it? Absolutely. Yes, mate. It's well placed. I'm just unfortunately haven't been doing that much planetary just lately, even though honestly I'd love to try out some of the new tools that's been added to SharpGap Planetary Live Stacking. One of my friends, Glenn Clowder from the channel Astro Bloke, put out a little video from PAS where he went and he interviewed Robin Glover, developer of SharpGap. And he demonstrated for him on that video some of the extra features now that's been added, such as an automatic process that can be applied. So previously when I've been doing demonstrations and recording videos to share with you guys to try and say, hey, give this thing a go, it's pretty damn good. It's gotten even better since then, luckily. So yeah, it seems to be really knocking down any barriers to entry for getting into planetary work. I would say it looks really promising. So that's something I'll want to check out in the future. No tax on your TubeTech order, says Mike. Good stuff. They claim they'll pay all taxes and fees, which is how it worked for me. That's good, mate. Dalton Davis. How's it going, Dalton? Been about 2 months since I was able to go capture anything. Just moved in. And I'm really missing getting out there shooting. I understand that, mate. Yeah, really sucks because there's been some clear nights. There's always going to be another clear night, mate. Yeah, you get yourself settled in, and then when the time is right, I'm sure you'll be able to pick things back up, no problem. But yeah, I really know what you mean. I think when you really get into astrophotography and it connects with you, not just on like a hobby level, like I like to do this, it can be a very much an enrichment of your life. I feel, rather than just purely like a face value hobby. Oh, bloody hell. Thank you so much for that, mate. What's this? Michelle, actually meaning if it's possible to transfer plate solving data from the image tab to the framing tab. Thank you so much for that. Transfer plate solving data from the image tab to the framing tab. That's a good question. Let me try to figure that out for you a sec. If anybody else can help with this as well. So you mean like when you plate solve an image here, because I know that in ASIA, I know this is not that relevant information for you, Michelle, but in ASIA you can go into like your previous images, your image history, solve one, and then send that to the framing wizard. And I'm assuming that's what you mean. I guess the only way that you could potentially do that would be to ensure that you're at the same rotation by manually rotating your camera and then inputting the same RA deck. Potentially that'd get you to the same spot, but that's a bit heavily hands-on and manual, ain't it? I don't see any options here as to what I could do with this. When clicking on an individual sub, can't spot that either, so perhaps framing. You've got me stumped, I think, buddy. Not something I've any experience with. Like I say, perhaps if someone in chat understands what you're asking there, I think I understand it now. We can get to the bottom of this for you, because it does seem like something you should be able to do. Are you trying to restore perhaps an unsaved session or something like that and get back on the same rotation, same target? What's the end goal for this move? Is that looking a little bit better now? Hard to say. We'll kick off a live stack on this shortly, by the way, guys, if that's of any interest to you. I will just try to catch up a little bit further on with the old chatteroony. Thank you again for that, Michelle. Think it's not true. Yeah, it's. Wish I could figure it out for you there, to be honest. Obviously, when it solves, it gives you the RA and deck, which you could paste in if you wanted to get to that exact same framing. Once again, but if you've taken off your camera between sessions and things like that, you would have to independently ensure that you were at the same rotation beforehand, before using those RA deck coordinates. Which is a bit of a mess about, isn't it, to be honest? I'll just try to catch up a little bit. I don't want to leave people, in the dark kind of thing. Sherrinford Holmes. Really? You can change the framing wizard to use a file and then point to a prior image if that solves your problem. Mike, you could have it right there, Mike. I tell you what, we can try that actually. Mike's suggestion, just really quickly, because I love when we get a question like this and I don't know the answer, because it's an opportunity for me to learn as well. Absolutely, we take those when we get them. So I'm guessing through the load image part, or is that just on here? Maybe you can add a file. Get coordinates from the current scope position, coordinates from the planetarian. Image source, got ya. So we're currently on the HIPS 2 bits sky survey. So if we click file, where are we going to find the file? Nope, it's defeated me again. Once again. Damn. Plate solving. No options to set the file used in there, is there as well? Huh. How are you getting to that then, Mike? I'd be interested to learn. It's not something I've ever particularly had need of, unfortunately, but I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to do, really. Is it perhaps to emulate someone else's framing so you could load that image in and get to the same coordinates? I don't know. Let's make another push on this catch-up anyway. Jamie, how's it going, Jamie? Jamie Erskine. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you, buddy. Using now an Optilong Ultimate filter from Bortle. 9 skies. Blimey, those are some rough skies, Michelle. But hopefully the Ultimate's Ultimate. Hopefully the Ultimate filter is making waves for you. Astro Republic, how's it going? Thanks for the feedback on Pixie Insight. You're more than welcome, mate. Yeah, more than welcome. 211 Milkman, good to see you, Milkman. Hope you're keeping well, buddy. We are indeed doing very well. Thank you for asking. It's kind of you. Can't seem to shake the clouds here in Maine. They'll go away, mate, eventually. With any luck, anyway. Terry McKnight on SH2 150 and Cepheus. Nice. Nick P, speaking of oddities in the night sky, let my imagination run away. Saw some weird pulses in the sky, thought/hoped it was a secret pulse jet engine test. Sadly turned out to be a Starlink array. What on earth has just occurred? I've just seen a red pop up. Oh my goodness. Is this real, mate? What on earth? Oh my god. Wow. Thank you so much. Holy heck. That's absolutely nuts. Jeez. Oh. Michelle as well. Thank you so much for that, mate. You're all so kind. I cannot possibly thank you enough. Holy moly. I'm a bit lost for words, unfortunately. Home Observatory. Damn. You guys have gone crazy tonight. This is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Damn. Wow. Thank you. Genuinely. How could I possibly express how I feel about that kind of thing? I just hope that you know that really, really genuinely I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I do. I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. Goodness gracious. Mike just gave us some more information there as well. My head's swimming a little bit, actually. I'm quite literally shook. That's unbelievable. Let me have a sip of coffee to try and rectify things. Goodness gracious. Image source, press load on the framing after you've selected the file. Let's try to get to the bottom of this for Michelle. While I try and gather my thoughts a little bit. Thank you again. Good grief, thank you again. That is quite astounding. Image source. Press it again is what you said. My misunderstanding, sorry. Press load image on the framing after you've selected the file. Got you. So we could perhaps, what are these? Snapshots? That's 2024. What are you doing there, Lukey boy? 2025, here we are, as latest data. So if we just select one of these from tonight, we open that, image needs to be solved for framing. Please confirm the metadata to use for solving. So hopefully you're able to follow along with this, Michelle. Is this perhaps able to answer what you're asking right there? I'll run through it again in just a moment. Thankfully, people in chat have talked me through this now, and we can hopefully make this work. But I know what this was taken with for this rig. 540mm focal length, Hyperstar 11v4, and a 2.9 micron pixel pitch camera, a 585. Done at 1x binning. It looks like the RA and DEC are already embedded in the image's metadata. So we can perhaps run this through the plate solver. And there we have it. It looks like you could do that and click add to sequence now. So hopefully that is helpful to you, Michelle. Thank you very much indeed to people in chat for helping out. So when you're on Nina, framing, file, load, select the file that you wish to solve, input the metadata like we just did before, plate solve it, and then it should know exactly where it is. The RA and DEC are populated down there. So that should work. Hopefully that answers your question for you, Michelle, with any luck. If it's not the right thing, though, do let us know. It's an interesting question. Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm having trouble putting sentences together at a minute. I'm a little bit incoherent. You guys have totally blindsided me tonight with this. It's just unbelievable. Yes, exactly. Oh, brilliant. That's wonderful to hear that we got to the bottom of that, Michelle. Thank you so much for your support. And Jeremy as well. Thank you, Jeremy. Blimey. You guys are absolutely unbelievable. I really, 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 really do appreciate you all. I wish I could tell you how much. No words would cover it. They really, really wouldn't. Pete's cab is an hour ahead in the future, is it? Oh no. Good evening, Danny. How's it going, Danny? Nice to see you, mate. Hopefully you enjoyed the bit of feedback on the recent Horsehead. Was it the judging video that I did, the feedbacks? They're a lot of fun, I think. We did meet last year. Yes, so I am remembering correctly, Jeremy. Yeah. I remember you. Yeah. Nice of you to come and drop by and chat. It really is. What would you recommend to get for astrophotography up to like £250? I've got a Nexstar 6SE and a Canon 700D. Hard to say, mate. I mean, you could likely get a wedge for your Nexstar if you want to try and do some longer exposure length astrophotography, but you are going to be limited a little bit by the Nexstar as its accuracy's not the best. So perhaps if you got yourself a wedge and a cheap auto guiding system, they might be your biggest upgrades and allow you to catch some interesting targets. Another thing you could potentially try is one of the 0.63 times reducers. I've got hiccups now. I'm panicking. You've got me that stirred up, guys. One of the reducers for your telescope, that could be useful too. It's hard to say. You've got a lot of things that you could get for £250. If you're able to get decent data and you don't already have good processing tools, then that also is another consideration. But only if you feel like you're going to be into astrophotography long term. Otherwise, buying something like PixInsight's a bloody big investment. You know what I mean? If you're not yet completely sure. But yeah, I put it off way too long, and I'm pretty sad I did. I feel like I'd have been further along in my own photography if I'd have got hold of it sooner. But that's me. I will do my best to catch up. So sorry about this, guys. I want it to feel like it's live for you, but I also don't want to leave people unanswered. There was a question about 7 versus 3nm filters from Rob Barter. Realised you were behind. Yeah, I did get to that one. I think, Mike, I was saying about how the 3nm filters are not only narrower and thus more contrasty on the data, better signal to noise ratio, but also they're typically made that bit better as well, so less prevalence of halos and things like that. Need to ask a silly question. Okay. Today I received an AM5N and the pier. Do I need to transfer washers type things to the bottom? Do I need to transfer washers type things to the bottom ring to attach to an AVX mount? Do you mean to an AVX tripod? Or am I completely misunderstanding, because you said you got the AM5 and the pier? Or do you mean just the pier extension? The AM5N itself should just bolt to the pier extension, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's 3 bolt holes in the bottom, like 120 degrees apart. And then as to the base plate, I'm not sure if it's compatible with an AVX mount, but no doubt someone out there's putting an adapter out. If not, just out of the box. Steve Cohen, how's it going? Clouds are forcing me to study for my Calculus 2 final. That's fair enough. Good luck for your finals, mate. Got a question, Luke. I want to add some HA to my Pinwheel Galaxy. Good question. Ooh. Do the HA exposures need to be the same as the broadband exposures, or can they be longer to gather more HA? To be honest, as long as you can calibrate that HA data and not have a massive discrepancy in star sizes between them, I think you'll be all right with whatever exposure length you go for, as long as it's not underexposed and then a load of read noise is going to creep in and mess up that data. But for me, I recently put some HA data into M101 as part of a test on the mini mono rig. That was LRGB HA. And the way that I did it was using emission line integration, I think it's called, in PixInsight's scripts. It's a script by Hartmut Bornemann, and it worked pretty damn well, to be honest with you. I can try and show you that at some point as well, but it's a little bit involved to get to that point in processing to even rig up a demonstration for you, unfortunately. But ultimately, to answer your question, Milkman, as long as you're not getting a load of read noise and thus banding and strangeness on those HA exposures, any length is fine. That should be about it. When taking 3nm filters, you get out a redshift from galaxies. Okay, so you cut off some light. That's interesting. Didn't know that, mate. So, do you perhaps gather more accurate overall data when trying to add, to a galactic source which is emitting primarily broadband light? You can then really accurately differentiate the HA emission nebula regions within the galaxy with a 3nm better, I suppose, if I'm interpreting what you're saying there correctly. Didn't know that. Pete's cam is an hour ahead in the future. Yeah, sorry about that. Very efficient filter, good stuff. Got to mention, bought an IOPTRON HAE69 mounted pass, waiting for it to arrive. Very nice, Rob. Congratulations, mate. Hope you're going to enjoy that. Redshift and narrowband filters. Never thought about it. Yeah, it's that's an interesting one. Will the filters dial away emissions? Oh, I've just understood it. So you're making a pun, aren't you there, Ben? Red shirt. The red shirt guy always dies, doesn't he? Is that what you mean? Is that Star Trek? Leo Sulbaran. Hi, Luke. Good evening from Tampa, Florida. Good evening, mate. Nice to see you. Question for you. Go on, then. What filter do you recommend for color cameras? I've got a ZWO ASI 2600 MC. Thanks. Right. If you wanted to shoot broadband targets, let's say like I'm going after tonight, a galaxy, that kind of thing, or reflection nebula, that kind of target, I would suggest to you to not use any filter other than UV IR cut. I think you'd have to be in pretty exceptional light pollution for a traditional broadband light pollution filter to actually work out in the end better than just UV IR cutting is. And I say that even from someone who's imaging in Bottle 7 skies right now. I've tried to test these things side by side as fair as I possibly could. And for me, it always turned out that UV IR cut data was just better overall, more color accurate too. If, however, you're asking about shooting emission nebulae, that kind of thing, predominantly HA03 kind of targets, then you're probably going to want one of the narrower filters that's on offer, unless you're using super fast optics. But let's say if you're just using your regular old refractor or something like that, yeah, probably an Optilong L Ultimate, the Player One Anti-Halo Pro. I can strongly recommend that one. It's an expensive filter though, but it is very, very good. But yeah, it depends on what you want to shoot, but those would be my recommendations. If you're using a color camera, get yourself a dual band filter and a UV IR cut, and you can image just about anything at that point. It's fine for every nebula, but but HA in like M106 can be cut. Oh, okay, so it can be cut out. I'm understanding now. Wow. Space station crossed over head. Oh, nice. That's awesome. I love when you catch a random pass of the ISS. Thank you again, by the way, Pete, for your incredibly kind support throughout this stream, throughout years. To be honest, mate, you've been a supporter of my channel for a heck of a long time, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Pete again. Look at all these members. Welcome aboard, all the new members, by the way, if any of you guys are here watching. I realise probably everybody in chat is now a member at this point. Did think about redshift, but I hadn't done the calculation to see what difference it would take it out of the bandpass. Good to know. Okay. We had a crash, unfortunately, on my page. Let's just get this thing refreshed. Can anybody confirm we are still live? Hopefully it hasn't crashed the whole thing. With any luck. live. Thank you, Stan. Really, really appreciate that, mate. The quick response there, rapid. Good to know. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, guys. I'll just try to get this still again. Thank you so much for this unbelievable support. Me and my family, we can't thank you enough. It really means a great deal. Well done on 20k. Oh man, thank you. It looks like we've lost some of the earlier chat, unfortunately. I'm ever so sorry about that, guys. I was trying to get through everybody's messages. If I did miss something important, then please type it again and I will try to get back to you as fast as possible. JTW Outdoors, good evening, brother. Evening, bro. Hope you're well. I am indeed. Looking forward to the weekend as well, mate. We'll get together, won't we? Thanks again, Michelle. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that one for you. Really need to finish my all-square camera, so I'll always get something. Yeah. Another little satellite just trailing through the centre of the field of view right there. We're going to have to make a push now on catching up. Get a mid-range filter for 250 quid. That's another suggestion, yeah, for the chap with the 700D and the C6, potentially. Because on 20k, yeah, we did make 20,000 subscribers just a few days ago on the channel. Chuffed to bits. Agreed, if astrophotography really connects, it's great. I'm fairly certain these days my mental health is directly improved by doing astrophotography and feeling productive. Yes, so you're referencing what I was talking about earlier, I assume there, Ruz, where astrophotography, I don't know, man. I mean, I suppose to a degree, if you're really crazy about your hobbies, you can get into them to that degree no matter what it is. Maybe, you know, playing guitar or something becomes a life-affirming experience for you, but I don't know. But particularly for me, and I'm sure for some of you guys out there, and it sounds like for you too, astrophotography and the feeling of, I don't know, almost connection and place in the universe that it gives you by becoming acutely aware of all these other targets and galaxies and things like that that are out there. Far more so than the average person on the street would, I reckon, because we spend time to actually seek these things out and take pictures of them. It's a comforting experience, in a way, I reckon, without trying to be too wordy with the explanation. But yeah, it's a very human experience as well. I think people have probably been looking up for as long as we've had eyes, so it's just a continuation of that, in my opinion. Ride the Lagger, how's it going? Save the image, loaded to frame tag. Yeah, we got to the bottom of that one. Thank you so much for helping out, by the way. Kevin Rudd, how's it going, Kevin? What your image tonight? Edward Millard is asking, sorry. So it's NGC 3718 and the Whale and the Crowbar Galaxy. And also I've got the ASI Air rig running on M63. I don't know why that eluded me, but it did. But yeah, I've been trying to gather some data on that as well. Crunch, I missed the start. I was shooting M31. Nice one, mate. Hopefully you're getting some good data on that. Any chance I've seen a review on the Optilong L Para filter? I've not even heard of that, mate, to be honest. So, not yet. Now, if the opportunity comes up to review new filters, generally speaking, as long as they're okay with my review terms, yeah, you'll see them pop up on the channel. Rob Barter from the separate... yes, got you. Let's just see. Thank you, Kieran, for that, mate. By the way, it did very much help. I think we got to the bottom of Michelle's problem there. And Ben, Blackcast Manor, thanks for mentioning the updates to SharpCap. Hey, yeah, it's a bloody wonderful piece of software, I think. I use the planetary live stacking a lot for planetary and solar. Looking forward to trying out the auto sharpen feature. Yeah, me too, mate, to be honest. Me too. I think that'll be really, really cool. Old School Raver, how's it going? Richard? I'm trying to remember your name from last time. Apologies if I've got that wrong, but I think it's Richard. I'm not the greatest with names, unfortunately, guys. I do my best, but it's not always easy for me. Thank you again. Yeah, not at all. I know you mentioned like jeopardizing my time. Not at all, mate. No. I like having the opportunity to learn new things whenever possible. You see, like when I first started trying to help you with that, I didn't have the bloody faintest clue how to help you with that, but thanks to, you know, people looking, understanding the problem on the fly, I was able to learn too. So thank you for the opportunity to do that. It's pretty cool. Welcome to the Luca Matico telethon. Oh man. Yeah, crikey! Thank you so much again for the outrageous level of support, guys. It's unbelievable. Give that man a tissue. Man, thank you. Let's just get caught up. Excellent stuff. Unfortunately, my SQA55 had a chromatic aberration issue, so I returned it to ASCII for repair or replacement. Oh no! Likely cause is a misaligned lens assembly that also wobbled inside the scope body, so you could hear something rattling. That's not good. Crikey. Sorry to hear that, mate. Everybody I know's experience with those scopes has been fantastic so far, but I guess, like anything, some stuff can slip through the gaps. Hopefully they'll get that put right for you, though, as fast as possible. I forgot a whole row on Instagram, and it happens that was mine. Oh no! Did I? I'm so sorry about that, Ram. When I was trying to work through, I thought to myself, once I'd got to the end of the recording for the critique, I did think, I hope I've got everybody's image. Apparently I didn't. So sorry about that, mate. Gotta go. Great live stream. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Willie. Thank you for joining in, mate. For the hosted challenge. Got you. Yeah. Learned something new tonight. Yes, me too, Rob. Oops. Whoops. Let's just get... Where was that? Just down here. Ah, here we are. PixInsight's great, says Pete. You can get similar results using free software, but it's a ball ache. PixInsight takes a lot of the pain away. It does. I will say one of my main complaints with PixInsight, just for me, really, is that the naming conventions for some of the processors is a little bit overly scientifical. Scientifical, is that a new word? But yeah, so it can be confusing finding the actual tool that you want at times, but once you learn where things are and what the name actually means in reality, it's pretty easy to navigate. Not the friendliest UI, but it's workable. But yeah, once you get around once you get your head around the user interface, that's it, Mike. Yeah, spot on, mate. Good night all, up at 4:45. Damn. Okay, Mel, have a good night then, mate. Chris Alberts, boy from Netherlands. How's it going, buddy? Running M101 capture. The luminance is now active. Good stuff. Stefan, hi from Switzerland. Hello there, Stefan. Good to see you. Replying to Mike there. It looks intimidating at first, but you do get used to it, yeah. So that's fair. That works in a project for another glitch, guys. Thank you, Luke. No problem, Milkman. I can show you where the thing is, by the way, Milkman. Back to what you're asking about, how to integrate emission line data. I'll just open up PixInsight real quick and show you where to look, just so you know what I'm talking about. But once your files are all stretched and ready to go, and you've got this is how I did it. This is potentially wrong, but I had an LRGB image combined non-linear, so largely processed at this point, and then I also had, aside from that, a channel of HA that I'd kept aside and stretched non-linear and processed as well, and I used scripts, utilities, emission line integration. There's no active image for it to pop up the UI, but that basically I'll just pull in what have I got here, some data to try and show you. Yeah, that. Oh no, it'll need to work on a color image. Hold on. I will get to the bottom of this, Milkman. Hyperstar 585. Yeah, we'll just drag this in. Right. Scripts, utilities, emission line integration. Creates a few masks. And then you've got this pop-up window right here. So you'd select, let's say if you want to integrate HA, I integrated it into the R channel by selecting it from the drop-down right there. Once it's selected, you can click test. It'll push this bar along. It takes a little while, even on a fast processor. And then you can review the result, hit OK if you're happy with it. And that's how I put HA data in. And I hope that helps you out a little bit there, Milkman. Got another little interloper in this image up there. have to get ready for work. Have a great rest of your stream. Thanks again, Kieran, for your help, mate. I appreciate that. Hope you have a cracking day at work. Hello from Greece, says Gerilakos. How's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. I appreciate you tuning in. Tom Starr, hello from Chicago. Good to see you again. Good to see you again, Tom. Thank you for popping in another stream. And time to really try no filter on a Galaxy. Salute over to M101 and see how it's going. Good stuff, Rosine. Yeah, let me know how that goes for you, mate. I'd love to be in the loop and see what you think on the fly for that one. Thanks so much for letting me know we were still live, by the way, guys, after that random crash that we had. Bit unfortunate. At least we didn't lose everything, eh? That would have been a real pain. Doing some Winter Milky Way at Sutton Bank, mate. Good stuff. Just come in the car for a warm, so I thought I'd tune in for 10 minutes while I'm warming up. What are you imaging, mate? How's it going, Scott, by the way? Nice to see you. So we're shooting NGC 3718. We've got that up and running on the RASA. This isn't it, but right here. So that's up and running on the RASA, mate. We're gathering a bit of data there. It's looking okay. I can't say it's looking incredible tonight or anything like that, but it's all right. And we're shooting the Whale and the Crowbar in LRGB HA over on the SQA 55 rig, just to see how that turns out. Just a bit of an experiment more than anything, trying to shoot some galaxies with a very restricted focal length. As I know that, every time galaxy season comes around, I was in this position quite a few times where I didn't have a scope suitable really for it, and I think I'd have found this kind of thing useful, seeing what's actually possible with a very limited focal length. As I've seen some convincing images basically taken through sea stars and the like, they're only 250mm. That made me kind of alter how I think a little bit about going after galaxies with short focal lengths. It does seem to be more possible than ever before these days. Now then, one last little push to catch up with chat, and then we can jump over and take a look at your submissions on the Discord, if you'd like. Let's just see. So yeah, good luck, by the way, Scott, for that. You appear alive unless you're an Android. Possibly. You never know these days, Jack. Let's just see. What scope would you send to a remote location? That's a tough question, mate. I don't know. I'm in two minds with that kind of thing myself, even. I'd like to send something like a high-quality refractor. As you just know, at least the optics you can rely on. You are going to be able to hopefully get lots of clear skies, so you can make up for the relative loss of speed compared to sending a faster scope there. But as Chuck's astrophotography has demonstrated, even by sending a RASA to a remote sky, you can get some incredible results by doing that. So you double up on the benefits. Then you're going pristine skies, incredibly fast and nice sharp optics, and you get the best of both worlds. So it's a tough question. It really is a tough question. What camera do you use for a live view of your observatory, says Chris Alberts. I'm using a ASI 676MC with the included little fisheye lens that screws on, mate. So that's just what we're looking at while we're chatting away and catching up back and forth. AZ Forerunner's Realm, how's it going? No Australia lately, I'm sim racing now. Oh, mate. Jason, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. Took me a while to remember then. AZ Forerunner, yeah. You and Isaac, don't you? You run out to Alpha Scorpii in the desert. So hopefully you're going to get some more clear skies soon. Supra, how's it going? Good to see you in another live stream, buddy. No Astro here either. I'm a cloud watcher. Fair enough. Do you race with Dave? Yeah, Dave does some, doesn't he, as well? Dave's astrophotography. Michael Jarvis, how's it going, Michael? Got to get there before I race with Dave. OTS Cymax. SQA55 in the box, not sale yet. Touchwood, it's a good one. Also use Opton Quad with my MT2600 and get some good results with it. Nice. Trying to upload my latest image of IC443 on Discord, but my JPEG is too big unless I'm on Nitro. You may have to compress it slightly, Derry, unfortunately, mate. I hate to say that. If you do get the opportunity, though, try to save it as a PNG rather than a JPEG. It appears to be, someone explained to me that Discord is not very friendly to JPEGs, and its compression algorithm, I suppose, that it utilizes to further compress images upon upload is pretty lossy. So a JPEG can look great on your screen, but after further processing, when it's uploaded, it gets squashed, unfortunately, mate. So if you get the chance to save it as a PNG, give that a go. Good evening from Ireland. How's it going, Derry? Yeah, it is good to see you. Plan on getting into sim racing. Looks fun. Mate, I'd love a sim racing setup. Can you imagine? that'd be a right laugh. Would you go VR though? Do you reckon, Pete? I've seen a lot of people. I watch some YouTube channels with people doing simulation stuff like that, and it seems like VR can be pretty convincing rather than like a multi-monitor curved setup. But yeah, best to post PNG images in Discord, as Stan's saying. Yeah, astrophotography, right? That's all going. Good stuff. Go out and get fuel. Fair enough, Rose. Thank you very much indeed for jumping in, buddy, and good luck on your data capture. Still trying to sort my sleeping pattern out. Have a good stream, mate. Clear skies all. Thank you, Rose. Have a good evening, buddy. A pleasure as always. VR would be good fun, but I might need a stick bag. Hey, honestly, Pete, you're not lying there, mate. I did try. Damn it, what were it now? I can't remember the name of the game on Steam, but it's a simulation-esque racer anyway, and I tried it through Steam VR. I made it about half a lap, mate, before I had to stop. I started feeling red hot, like I was going to be sick. Not good. Yeah, that's a good point. I imagine you get used to it, though. Or perhaps you could take some anti-seasickness tablets. I hear that they work as well, but you shouldn't have to medicate to be able to play games. I think that's a bit extreme. Do you know what I mean? Project Cars, yes. You're right, actually, Rose. I'm glad to see you captured that, by the way. Yeah, Project Cars. I think that's Project Cars 2 or something like that I tried. Yeah, made me feel sick, mate. Just curious, what monitor are you using for editing your astro photos? Is it IPS or OLED, and is it calibrated? Yes, it's calibrated. It's a QLED by Samsung, actually. One of their 43-inch QLED 90 series panels. So, like the tippy top of what they offer. It's very nice. I have to say, the only thing that I don't quite like about it sometimes is when viewing the screen at this kind of range, it doesn't have a anti-color shift coating like my previous screen did. So if you get off axis with colors, it can shift them very, very slightly. It's not much, but it can. So sometimes when I'm editing images, I'll try to make sure that they're occupying the piece of screen that's smack in front of my face square on, just for, you know, the best chance at color accuracy. But yeah, it's a minor thing. Tried to upload sorry, hang on. Tried iRacing, made me feel sick as well. It was with 3 27-inch monitors. Okay. Triple 32 inches. Yeah. Hopefully that answers that one for you. Cracky guys. Thank you again, by the way, for the support. What an unbelievable night we've had so far. I'm just going to go and use the little boys' room before we get ready for a little Discord session. I just need to quickly check on Chloe as well and make sure that Felix is okay. But yeah, I'm sure everything's going to be fine. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. It won't be long at all, guys. So see you in just a moment. Then it's Discord time, I reckon. Yeah. Ooh. Damn. Wow. Oh no, I've had another crash. What's going on with this thing tonight? Just loading everything back up. Could anybody please let me know if we're still live? I'm sorry I have to keep asking this, guys. Still live. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. Right, let's crack open the pop-out chat. No idea what's going on there. I've got 32 gigs of memory on this thing. How's it running out of memory? I wonder if there's a leak in Chrome or something like that. We had the same thing happen though with Firefox, so the likelihood that both have a leak is not that realistic, is it? I want to give or take a second. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, it's cold out there. It is pretty darn chilly. I wonder if I could move my temperature sensor actually and have you able to see it somewhere. Probably not. Looking at the height of the amp meter on the power supply, that'd probably be a bit low. Yeah, there's always a leak in Chrome. Sadly, not joking. Yeah, I don't think you are actually kidding, are you, mate? To be honest. Yeah. Let's just see. Quick, while his waypoint scope at the moon. Yeah, excellent stuff. Right then, let's get caught up a little bit on the Discord. I think that's the thing we should do. Can't claim it's cold when there's Americans listening. No, that's true. I'm well aware that every time I say, blimey, it's cold, I'm not allowed to feel cold because there's always someone in the stream who lives in Antarctica or something like that. And they're like, you think that's cold? It's minus 75 here, mate. But yeah, still, I am cold. Let's take a little peek. Right, the Discord is the thing. Oosh, let's pull this on the screen. I think, you know, something I seriously underutilize. Isn't there a way that I can make this occupy like half the screen? We'll have this on not quite this much of the screen, but then we won't lose it every 2 seconds. How's that? That's all right, isn't it? Right then. So first of all, I'd say let's check people's gear, see what's been getting uploaded. So Duma, Oner, this is his rig. Interesting little mount, I have to say. What's this? Sorry, getting notifications and all sorts coming through. What is this, a 150 PDS or a 200? It's hard to tell. I like the mounting though. You've chosen to put the camera rotated just above like the counterweight axis. I've done that myself before. Gets more of the mass in close, utilizing the good old scope cover as well for the back to stop those light leaks on the newts. Good stuff. Astro Pix, I think I've actually seen this one. Have I? Nope, apparently not. So this is Jim, one of my mates who I've met a couple times in person now as well. So is this some kind of, looks like a cine lens or something like that on a CEM40, an Altair Astro camera with an Altair filter slider, 30mm f4 guide scope. It's a neat little rig, I have to say. Lovely stuff. Thank you for the explanation. I was changing my 3-year-old when you explained it. Went back to watch it. Didn't know this tool existed. Have to give it a go. Good stuff, Milkman. I'm really glad you caught that, mate. But yeah, it's pretty nifty. I will say just give it a little go. And if you're not happy with the result, you may have to adjust a little bit on your HA frame. But it does work. Good to see some of us have some clear sky. I've not seen any for months, says James. Sorry to hear that, James. I'm sweating here in Houston at 25. Oh, mate, I'd swap you if you want. I'd sooner take 25 than, I don't know, I guess it's about a degree outside at the minute. It's not quite freezing, I don't think, but it's not far off. My YTD way to go says Henk Durvan. Give this guy a little heart on this thing. I love these little compact setups, you know what I mean? I've done this before as well, by the way, just to make sure that, you know, if you've got a scope with undoable clutches so you can re-index things at the end of a night, really quickly just leave a mark with a pen. You can put it straight back, time and again. Nifty little rig. C-Star. I like the tripod you're using. That's like a sturdy video tripod looking thing. Yeah, like that. Good stuff. What's this? Phil Page posting a few more pics in daylight to give it a better idea. My main scope is a C8 Hyperstar with the little 90mm Maxitov piggybacked, so I don't have to swap things around. Got ya. Mini PC, power box, and homemade power supply all there too. Dew Shield is an aluminium homemade item. Very nice. With the port on the side to allow access to the filter drawer. ZWO EAF, 50mm guide scope, and a 585 camera. Main camera is a 533 MC Pro. Bottom of my pier is the remains of a big pine tree. A friend of mine in Norway actually did the same thing. So rather than making a custom pier, there was a tree that he'd recently cut, but he'd left enough of it up that he turned that into his pier. Basically, he's called Joachim, the elderly, and I think maybe he's posted the image on the Discord. I can't remember, but I remember when he did it. I thought it was a really neat idea. Nice. Yeah, it's a lovely little setup you've got. I say little, big setup that you've got there, mate. And it's all very neatly done, I have to say. I like that you've built your observatory so high up as well. That it really is. I see what you mean now about on the remains of the tree. That's pretty cool. Do you find you have much trouble with wobble, though? Looking at the length of what's above the ground on that? That must be, how many rungs of a ladder? That must be 5 feet tall underneath there or something like that. Maybe 6 feet even. That's a lot of tree. What a mad design. It's cool though. I really do like that. Obsy's rated up about 6 foot. Got you to give a better horizon. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, awesome stuff. SV555 looks great. Indeed, mate, yeah. Only clear skies when I have to work the next morning. That does suck, mate. I can really see the argument for, like remote observing, if that's the case a lot of the time. Sending your gear away and being able to image while you sleep, that kind of thing. That's always nice. So you've got a C-Star, a Celestron. What's this? A 130, a 150 or something? A little Galileo Newtonian right there on a Dobsonian mountain. An Iaptron RC8 or 6, it's hard to tell. Telescope right there with a TubeTech camera, an off-axis guider, and an Orion ST, I think that is, and an Orion short tube with the DSLR on it. Okay, on an AVX. Interesting little rig, that. So you've got the mini mono set up on that thing. Am I mistaken? When I think of an Orion ST, if that's what it is, that's an achromatic doublet, no? I would have thought that'd have been very hard to image with, but all the same, oops. Good stuff. Where are we? Time-lapse rig from last night. Pluto, let's see it, mate. Full screen this thing. Oh, that's cool. That's a really rapid time-lapse as well. Wow. This wire, that's a little bit worrying, that one, I have to say. I'd be trying to find somewhere else for that, because as you know, once the counterweights go over it, I see you're probably already aware of it, and that's why you've moved your counterweight lock to the left. But it is a little bit worrying that they could get caught up and rive themselves into pieces. Yeah, an Orion ST80, got ya. Lovely, that's a cool time lapse. Just a few questions in here as well, actually. I could try to help with later on. Just me, or does this new setup look super goofy? Nah, mate, it looks cool. I like it. I'm unsure about the lack of counterweight bar, even with a relatively small load. I know that they're probably heavier than they look, the 555. But yeah, I think it's pretty nifty, mate. Good stuff. Lucky boy. James. How's it going, James? It's really good to see you. Hope you're keeping well. Hope your dad's doing well as well. Without, asking too much. You'll have to let me know, buddy. Just going through a little bit of the Discord channel, people's rigs and stuff like that. Then we're going to take a look at people's recent images. Andy Kendrick, how's it going? Things aren't bad at all, mate. Thank you very much indeed for asking. Hope the same for you. Astrovino, 2 rigs currently. ASCAR SQA55 with a 2600 MCP and an ASCAR 80 PHQ with a Player 1 Uranus C Pro, both on fixed piers in your roll-off roof Obsy. Lovely. Oh yes, indeed. We likey. This is really neat stuff here, Astrovino. I like that a lot. Really, really, really lovely setup. Oof. Are you sure that the mount is big enough though to hold the 80p HQ? It looks like we've had another crash as well. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to assume that we are live, thankfully, on this, even though it's been a bit of a todge with this this kind of thing. Let's get the pop-out chat going again. Come on, Sonny Jim. There we go. Fortunately, we keep getting these bloody crashes. Yes, live. Good stuff. Thank you very much indeed for confirming that, mate. But yeah, the 80p HQ on the EQ8, that's a flex if ever I saw one. I like it though. Good rig. And I'm a fan of your cable management as well. I have to say that it's the use of this cable netting and stuff. Good stuff. The only thing I might add, if you want a tip from me, not that you need it, one tie, like a cable tie, around the outer edge of, was it shown better on the next image? It's like around here, going through that whole loom, and just loosely restrict its total available movement. There's just that little bit, if you want. That's what I'd do anyway, just a very loose one there to take that back. But that's an absolutely tremendous setup, mate. Lovely stuff. Chuck's Astrophotography. This is the raster I use at Starfront. Pictures from November 2019 when it was brand spanking new. Okay, damn. Look at that thing. That has been putting in some work, let me tell you. I noticed that like Pete's Astrophotography and Chuck often post images that Chuck has captured at Starfront with this thing, and they are astonishing, given that, you know, it's just 400mm focal length, so it's, you know, pretty moderate, really. It's not any great deep instrument or anything like that, but the detail that you can pull out these days with today's tools is just next level. You'll see. Anyway, you'll see in a minute once we start looking at some of the data. Jim S. ASCAR 120 Apo. Wave 150i mount. ASI 2600 MC. I thought we'd lost the chat again then. It's got me worried these days, guys. Crikey. ASCAR 120 Apo, Wave 150i mount, ASI 2600 MC, Melee Q4, Pegasus Powerbox Advanced, ASCAR 52mm guide scope, and an ASI 290 Mini. Beautiful. Let's have a little look. So the Wave 150s, I like them. I've not had the opportunity to try one. The only thing that ever kind of worried me about this particular mount is the position. Right there, you see like the power port that goes in. Just a minor concern that there could be a collision between you know, like a deeper focuser, that kind of thing, and these USBs when rotating the RA. But overall, damn, it fits well. It looks pretty damn beautiful. I know that this is by no means a small scope. I've got one running outside right now, literally. It looks a lot like this, just minus the guide scope. But yeah, lovely to see. I like the peer extension as well. How do you find the carbon tripods, by the way, if you are watching this, Jim? Because I've now came along a little bit more of a preference towards using the aluminium pier that I've got for it rather than the carbon tripod. The TC40, I should say. As I found that the TC40 can, I assume, kind of like resonate very slightly. So if it gets a little bit of a dink, it takes ages for wobble to settle. Whereas you'd imagine with carbon, the stiffness would mean that it'd settle fast, but it, for some reason, doesn't seem to. But yeah, just wondering how you find it. Rusifald, let's just see Evening Space Legends. How's it going, Ed? Nice to see you. 2 setups, use the AM5 for a mount, C8 Edge HD, and an ASCAR FRA 300 Pro. Lovely. Travel full time in an RV, so space is a premium. That's awesome. Good on you, mate. Don't have a super good photo of it set up. Just recently upgraded from the ASI 183 to a 2600 with filter wheel. Loving the mono setup. Oh, mate, I like this. Yeah, so you're running TC40s as well. I assume if you've got no wind and stuff, it's no problem. Yeah, I like that. This is a cool view as well with this this line leading in. Don't know why, just photographically speaking, I like it. American trucks, by the way, jeepers creepers, that thing is a monster. Love it. Good evening, Luke. How good are ZWO scopes? Asks Sarab. I've actually got a 6-month super review coming up this week, really, Sarab. So if you're looking at... I'll just try to help out a little bit and show you actually as well. If I can figure out what's going on with my software. But so in particular, I'm going to be focusing on one. FF80 Apo that I've got running right there. So that is going to be the focus of this week's video. Things set up properly. And yeah, I like them. To be honest, mate, I do like them. But if you have infinite budget or an extended budget, shall we say, my personal choice at this point, if you're looking for an 80mm or something like that, would be the SQA, probably. SQA 85. But yeah, nice little rig. It is a neat little rig. Yeah, I got to say, I need to figure out a way to mount the guide scope to it, though, unfortunately, Mike. That's the bugbear with it at the minute. Alan Pabs Astro is toying with getting a SQA 55, but what camera pairs well with it? To be honest, Alan, anything you'd like to put on it, to be true. I'm running currently a 585 on it for a slightly tighter feel from that telescope, but it does at times feel like a bit of a waste because I know how good it is over even a full frame, you know what I mean? But yeah. ASA 10-inch and the FSQ 130. FSQ 130, that's a rare telescope in your little observatory. That is a bloody rare telescope. What a nice side-by-side that is, and pretty dome as well, dude. I got to give that a heart. Wonderful stuff. I bet that gives you many an enjoyable night. One loved one says, I have an Innerel ST344C carbon fiber rated for 35 kilo, I think, and yes, it does resonate at any touch. Got ya. So it's same for you then. That's fine, mate. If it's not just a me thing, then Wave 100, Red Cat 51, 55. Yeah, fair play, mate. Yeah, fair play. I know that the tripod can stand up to like tremendous loads for how much it weighs. It's just I'm finding that because I image with that tripod outside, of course, any bit of wind and you can lose more subs with it. Unless you've got a very small rig overall sat on it, then it's not too bad. Current rig setup from Z Boyd. Good to see you in here, by the way, mate. I know you do like to pop in on the live streams a lot. Altair Astro 72 EDF 0.8 times reducer. Altair Astro 585C. Altair Astro filter draw. 50mm guide scope with an Altair Astro 462M guide cam. Warp Astron WD-20 mount. A few people have been talking about those, haven't they? How do you find that thing if you're here tonight? Mark, isn't it? Portable tripod, I like that. And Pegasus Astro Pegasus Power Box Advanced and a Focus Cube 3. Okay, that's a detailed breakdown. Nice. Yeah, nice. Like I say, I've got one of these. The red one. So, of course, mine is a little bit faster, being that it is the red one. But, yeah, the green one's still good. But I do, all jokes aside, I really do like that pier system that they've got. I know that you can pick them up now from First Light Optics as well. Someone in the Discord was just recently asking about that. Branded as Starfield, I think. They're the exact same thing. But they're a good bit of kit. I like your positioning for the power brick right there. But yeah, it looks like it's a really neat little setup, I have to say. I like the cable management that you've gone for. That looks pretty good. There's enough slack there while still being supported enough that nothing should grab and drag. Yeah, lovely little rig, to be honest, mate. I like the use of the riser blocks as well on that. Cool stuff. Good. Mark, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I like your rig, Mark. It's good to see. I bet that's giving you a lot of fun. One question though, Mark. Do you find that your polar alignment holds once you've done it on, let's say, like your decking out here? Do you find that, let's say, if you've polar aligned, I'm assuming, you know, looking up the mount, this is obviously pointing north, so you're gonna have to walk off from behind here and back wherever your house is. Do you find that it knocks it out, or does it hold? Is your deck really like? I've got to be careful with what I say here, but is your decking really stiff? I don't want to ask if you've got a stiff deck. God's sake. I'm losing my marbles tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. my new solar rig is supposed to chase the clouds away. I'm sorry. I'm such an idiot. It's not even that funny. Oh, crikey. It was 3-point polar alignment. Jesus Christ. Sit inside, check, make adjustment, go back. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. I know that if you've got an older deck, it can have trouble staying stiff, I suppose. Oh, for God's sake, I've got to stop. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, bit of solar work here. It's all white light solar. Right. I promise I'm not trying to make fun. I just genuinely wanted what you did, because I know a few people do set up in this kind of thing. When I stand on it, it has a lot of trouble staying stiff. Give up now. Oh, how many beers have you had, lad? None. None, James. I know, mate. It seems like it, doesn't it? New solar rig that was supposed to chase the clouds away. I do need to actually try and look at this. I like it. I have to say, is this a Coronado? I think, looking at that gold tube, is that a double stack? I want to say as well. Pretty damn nice looking bit of kit, to be honest. Yeah, all joking aside. Nice bit of kit. Somebody has a stiff from Rudy. Oh no. Oh. Just spent about 10 hours trying to process. Oh, hang on. Saw part of your stream about a month ago. I hadn't done astrophotography before. I've since spent more money than I probably should have. And I'm talking thousands and thousands. Oh no. Blimey. That's what she said. That's it, mate. Just spent about 10 hours trying to get this project to F in stack. That is, I feel the pain there, buddy. Yeah, having kids will do this to a guy. Baby brain tiredness. Yes. Coronado 90mm double stack on that is lovely, Mike. Yeah, what a setup. You know, I never used one myself, the Coronado double stacks, but I did go to someone's house to buy a piece of equipment right when I first started off. Right, this was my first ever proper telescope, and there he had a Coronado 60mm, I want to say, and he says, "Oh, you think this thing's heavy?" So I go buying a telescope from him. I was surprised by its weight, and he handed me that, and I thought, is this thing made out of steel? Like, they're surprisingly heavy for the size of them, aren't they? That's what I thought. You are live! Thank you, Jeremy. We are still indeed live. And Red Arm. Built my observatory on the roof. Greetings from Home Observatory. Oh, man. Okay, so this is you, mate. Damn. This is your observatory. That is cool. That is proper dream house stuff there, right? Wow. I'm just soaking that one in for a minute, mate, actually. Northern Lights, beautiful display. And an observatory on your roof. I do wonder, quick question, how do you find the observatory in your house like that? Not that it's something that I could ever feasibly make happen. But I just wonder, because let's say if I'm upstairs and someone slams a door downstairs in our house, I can feel like the floor shudder just a little bit. So do you have trouble with like people moving around, or is it isolated somehow from the rest of the building, or is your house just sturdier than mine and it's a non-issue? Either way, anyway, that is inspirational stuff, and an absolutely beautiful house. Well done. That is awesome. Goals indeed, yeah. Just came from setting up the Edge HD11, and OAG. Okay, in a clear but windy Gloucestershire, says Richard. Working fine on M99, but M51 and M104 just fails to pick up any guide stars. You just prompted my memory there by the way, by mentioning a couple of Messier objects. Would anybody like to perhaps try a Messier marathon of some kind from here in the observatory at some point. I thought that'd make a nice live stream subject that we could potentially do together. Just try and get everything that we can possibly image from the Messier catalogue. We won't be able to get everything, obviously, but yeah. No vibrations. 2 ton of concrete. Wow. Okay, yeah, so that's probably as dead as a doornail in it, I suppose. Damn. Yeah, absolutely beautiful stuff, though, mate. And I'm not obviously just saying that because you're giving such unbelievable support. I think anybody with eyes can appreciate that this is special. So, yeah, tremendous. Thank you very much indeed for sharing that. How would you ever keep up with chat when doing a Messier marathon? Probably couldn't, mate, could I? Absolutely a Messier marathon. That's good stuff. M1 to 100 challenge. Can you imagine? I know there's quite a few Messier objects that I won't be able to hit due to, elevation constraints, of course. But, yeah, I think we could perhaps just make a list. Try to jump through them one by one, figuring out where they are by importing, like a custom, what's it called now? Like a panorama into Stellarium so that we can actually pick up what's going to be visible and when and try to figure out a way through it. I think that'd be a bit of fun. Personally, I'm just here for the chat, not even sure what you're imaging. That's fair enough, buddy. Yeah. Well, thank you very much indeed for sharing the Astro gear. We're now going to take a look at the Astro images. Let's get caught up. So I see a few people have been submitting these in anticipation. Let's try to get to where I was before, though, because there's been a heck of a lot of good images submitted. Where are we? Where are we? Oh, perhaps I can try and show you as well. If you want to submit your own image, by the way, go on the Discord, click New Post, M101 Best, with a message. I'll just try to make a post for you and we can see. So click, find your image. So in my case, I've got like 3 I could post. Hopefully it'll let me do those. Yep, 3 different shots. Not sure you can choose which way around they go as to which one is the thumbnail or whatever, but yeah, there they are. 378 times 1 minute subs on M101. Hyperstar 11v4 Edge 585. See. Cool. So I should be able to select what this is. So deep space, galaxy, post. So if you want to submit your own images, that is basically how you do it, like I've just done right there. I do advise, as Stan's mentioned in here as well, if you can save as a PNG rather than a JPEG, then you're going to have a much better chance at making this work. But yeah, that's my M101, and it looks like it's survived being uploaded pretty well. Can't complain too much. Yeah, just submit your last one on the Discord. Brilliant. So I'm going to start from a little bit lower down. So we're going to have a good, a good look through all of these, should I say. Or just for the long-winded message on my image on Discord. Not at all. Derry. I caught it, didn't I, mate? Hopefully. Don't want to be missing anybody's submissions, but yeah. Let's just catch up from where we roughly left off. Now, I do believe the last stream, we were talking a little bit about people's data with the sea star. That's kind of where we finished. Let's take a look at some of these lunar shots anyway. We'll kick things off from here. So I think I can pull this across and we'll be able to view a little bit better here. First time using 676MC. I like the camera. Doesn't quite fit the full lunar disk into frame, so I had to do a mosaic. Capturing sharp cap, 3000 frames, stacked in auto stacker. So you're doing everything manually, that's fair enough. I would have loved to give it a go at, what's his name though, to be honest, if you could. The sharp cap auto stacking. I have to say though, you've made a beautiful image. Really tastefully processed there. It's not overly sharpened or anything. That's a nice shot. Yeah, that is a nice shot, that, mate. Whatever you've done has clearly worked. So, brilliant. Good stuff, mate. Let's check your next one, Fruity. Captured this one back in January with a 715 with tiny 1.45 micron pixels. 6 panels to fit almost full moon. Okay, so you had to mosaic to get the full moon in. I understand now why you didn't use sharp gap live stacking. That is very nice as well. Looks a little bit softer, I think, than the previous lunar image. I don't know if it's just me, but some of these rims around these smaller craterlets look at just a touch softer overall. But yeah, very, very, very nice, especially given that you've been shooting. I think was it with a smallish telescope? I think you mentioned your scope, didn't you, on this first one? No, you didn't. I'm just making things up. Sorry about that, guys. Next up, Mountains of the Moon from Fruity once again. So he's been focusing on some lunar imaging of late. Quattro 200p. Gotcha. PowerMate 4 times. Damn. 676 MC. 1000 frames capturing sharp cap. Top 10% stacked in auto stackert. Astro surface for wavelets. All right. Very nice. You can see. I like this one as well, by the way, with the overlay, so we know exactly what we're looking at. Apollo 15. Damn. But yeah, the shadows that are visible along these ridges really give it a nice 3D feel, don't they? Again, tastefully processed as well. I have to compliment you on that, mate. That's nice. Phone keeps pinging. Hopefully everything's all good and we're still properly live. Having all kinds of issues tonight with streaming software, unfortunately, but we seem to be chugging along, still live. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that, mate. Brody, moonset. Saw a really beautiful view of the moon setting over my neighborhood, so I went to go get my camera, took 2 images, and this HDR composition of the moon setting. Love it. Nice shot, Brody. Takes gives you the feel. You know what I mean? Right there. I'm with you, mate. After a good shot like that, lovely stuff. Jamhadar, C-Star. So this is a chap who's capturing some really interesting C-Star data. This time C-Star S30, 6 hours of 10-second subs, stacked and processed in PixInsight. C-Star S30, man. That is really impressive. Really, really impressive. Well done. It's amazing what you can do these days with a smart telescope, you know what I mean? And one that costs £350 in that case as well. Unbelievable stuff. Near Horizon with C-Star S30, M83 galaxy, beautiful galaxy this. Peak altitude of only 8 to 13 degrees, so just above the horizon. Damn. Total of 13 hours of 10-second subs. I bet that was some work, gathering 13 hours with just that tiny workable window of a few degrees. Crikey. Fantastic, mate, to be honest. Yeah, 150 millifocal length and you're doing that. That's phenomenal, basically, without putting too fine of a point on it. What was this? Sorry, again. Lucas 2. Another go edit in Orion. Let's just check out this. So I'm assuming this was done with some sort of dual band filter, as it looks really split into emission lines. I have to say it's a little bit overdone for my taste, if I'm going to just be honest with you. Some of the stars have really been squashed too much. I know you've been trying to kill some halos. That's clearly happened there as well, but I think in doing so, it's maybe made that segment look a little bit worse overall. A little bit too sharpened, a little bit too noise reduction going on. It's overly mottled, etc. But I can imagine you were probably struggling with this data looking at it, as you've applied a good deep stretch, so that's a good thing. But it came at a cost of a little bit too much noise coming through the image. Hope you accept the constructive feedback on this one. I still like what you've done. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you for sharing. Oops. Done the classic Luke mistake there, where I shut down more than I'd intended on doing. Blimey, guys, where were we? We were further along than this. Opinion on Pegasus Astro Smart Eye. Have you seen through it? I haven't, mate. Is that the 533 camera giving you like a it's like a 533 camera on one end, a built-in battery, and then an OLED miniature screen within like an ocular that you can look through? If so, I've seen them, but I haven't seen through one. They do look interesting though, but pretty expensive for what they are. I would say that, given that, as far as I understand, they're about £1,000 or something in this country, or that's what they're set to be. you're getting into the realms there of almost being able to afford image intensifiers, which like a pretty dramatic change for you. No need for image stacking, just like a wild intensification of the photons that are actually there live for you. I think we were here, weren't we, last time? So let's crack on just a little bit further. I remember someone saying, send in this imaging with Luke during the last live stream. Right. Sorry, guys. I will really have to do my best to try to remember not to close down the side panel. Blimey, there's a lot of images get submitted to this. I looked at that for a minute, wondering what's going on. Dinner Plate Galaxy. A lot of images have been submitted. I'm just going to close it again until we figure out exactly where we are. It's today's stuff in it we're looking for, really. 18 days. Goodness gracious me. That's a lot of images. Come on, Lukey boy. Where were we? I remember. We looked at this. Lunar shots. These lunar shots, yes. Here we are. Hidden Galaxy Jem'Hadar. Some more C-Star work. 42 hours. Good grief. Where do you live, buddy? How are you getting so many hours on these targets with your C-Star? It must be clear every single night for you. That's absolutely wild. Pillars of Creation through the C-Star. How? How is this possible? Incredible stuff. C-Star again. I'm not going to dwell too much on these guys. They are incredible for what they are, and there's no two ways around that. But another 42 hours. Bloody hell. But I realise you've made a lot of posts, of course, so we don't want to turn it into just a stream looking at C-Star data. So M81, M82. Let's just break this down a little bit. 585 MC Pro, gain at 252. ASCII 103 reduced to 560mm. Filter L quad. Okay. Guide scope, AM5N, SR plus 356 subs, 60 seconds each through ball 5 skies. Got ya. Right, so a couple of things with this image. Whatever you've used to stretch has unfortunately blown out the core on Bode's Galaxy there. The cigar is just hanging on for dear life. I think there's just a little bit left right there. We have small halos around these stars that look like little donuts, as you can see hopefully around there. So your overall sharpness is good because you've split this little double layer quite comfortably, but whatever you've used to sharpen the image or the stars has unfortunately left halo artifacts, sometimes like you'd see with improperly applied deconvolution tools. Oh crikey, thank you so much for that, Milkman. That's dead kind of you, mate. It really is. Thank you, mate. You guys have been absolutely unbelievable tonight with this support. It's gone above and beyond anything I could have ever dreamed of. So thank you. On the note of feedback though, with this, I think it could stand a deeper stretch, but I don't know what you're using to process, so it's hard for me to just advise that without being able to back it up with how I'd do it. If I was processing in PixInsight, I'd probably have a go with either Bill's auto stretching tools or what's it called now? Generalized hyperbolic stretch. That's it. No wonder it didn't immediately come to mind. It hardly rolls off the tongue, does it? But GHS would probably like to tame this core while, you know, really bringing out the stretch on the spiral arms of the Galaxy. I think it looks like you've got some good data to work with, but maybe it's held back a little bit by the L quad filter. I think you might get better results just from standard UV IR cut, especially from Ball 5 Marty. So I hope if you see this, if you hear this at any point, I hope that's some nice feedback for you. Black point's a little bit low as well. I'll just put that out there. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm being an ass when I give this kind of feedback. I just try to judge from what I see where someone is at in the journey and offer appropriate feedback. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to poke holes in everything. I'm just trying to offer useful feedback for people. Timothy Como, how's it going there, mate? Good to see you. And you're very welcome, Luke. Watching you in between watching my son. Oh, thank you so much, Milkman. I really, really, genuinely, mate, I do appreciate it. I hope you know that. So this is the Rosette Nebula, NGC 2244. C-Star S30, eh? Bloody heckers. DP John, I know you've been in chat earlier. I don't know if you still are here, but yeah, wonderful stuff, actually. C-Star S30, punching above its weight. I assume this is probably what the C-Star outputted, or if you've edited this yourself, I could give you some small bits of feedback if you like. I think your black point's set accurately. That's nice to see. Noise reduction is maybe just a tiny bit heavy, but I can see that it was probably quite noisy data to work with, so it's always a balancing act in regards to that. But I think overall the sharpness that you've achieved is very nice, and it certainly doesn't look overdone or anything like that. So yeah, I reckon DP John, I know it's probably not on the cards right now, but if you did end up getting something like PixInsight and some processing tools, you could probably take your data even further pretty easily. But yeah, thank you, evening all. Wait for it. What's this, Stan? Let's just see. So this is more C-Star data. So, blimey, that's what it looks like, the output from the C-Star, eh? And then you've managed to process it into this. That's pretty dramatic stuff. How many hours? 13 more hours. God, blimey, mate. Yeah, well done. Good to see. Did I leave a like on this? Can't remember. Waiting for the crash. Yours just crashed again. Oh, no. Sorry to hear that, Stan. Chuck has posted this one. So Chuck's Astrophotography, one of the huge astro channels out there, and actually one of the main inspirations for me even starting my own channel as well, like him, Rosine, Astro Backyard, Nico, do you know what I mean? All these guys maybe feel like I wanted to have a crack too. And it's thanks to your support that I've actually been able to do it. So yeah, that's why I'm always trying to tell you how grateful I am. It's because I bloody well am. You guys, with your support, have changed my life very much for the better. Truly you have. Beautiful image that. There, Chuck. M51 RASA. So this is what we were talking about before. So Chuck's RASA lives out at Starfront Observatory, running a 533, which I assume was his choice, given that it gives him quite a lot of framing leeway for cropping things down after the fact, if you should wish, without need for any rotational adjustments, which obviously when your scope's remote, you either need a rotator or to ask for a service on your telescope where someone will go and rotate for you. Chuck with a square sensor doesn't really need to worry about that. So it's a pretty wise choice overall. An Antlia L filter and an L Extreme filter. Lovely stuff. Absolutely cracking. Jim, whose rig we saw earlier as well, but this is a different one. F4 Newt Altair 26C, CEM 40. 3 hours of 3-minute subs. Good stuff. M101, very nice. Looks like there's a small amount of rotation difference there, Jim, on your spider vanes. I don't know if this is going to come up for you guys on stream, but you can almost see that the vanes have been rotated, slightly translated differently from one side of the meridian, I'm assuming, to the other side of the meridian, and this can sometimes happen after. Doesn't always have to be the vanes, by the way. It can be the whole tube sagging in its rings. So sometimes if you're at, let's say, east of meridian and you flip to west or whatever, the weight of your scope causes flexure in your tube rings, which alters the angle ultimately of those spikes. So then when you go to the opposite side, you can end up with a double spike. So don't know if that's what's happening for you there, Jim, but it's just a little thing I noticed in an otherwise very, very pretty image. So yeah, good stuff. Watching it on YouTube app on the SkyQ box with no problems. Ah, okay. Mad 2 just got back. Probably has 10 or 20. He might do 10 or 20 C-stars. Actually, that's a good thought. I wonder if he does run multiple C-stars to gather so much data, because there just doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day, really, to gather as much data as he does when you yourself don't like it anymore. Yeah, that's true. I guess when it's too much. When is it too much? It's down to the individual, I suppose, isn't it? It's easy for me to sit here and say I think this has been processed well, or over-processed, or there's more in the data, under-processed. But none of that matters. Ultimately, if you're happy with where your image is at, and you're progressing towards where you ultimately want to be, you're doing everything right. Very pretty Thor's head, by the way, overall. I think it's pretty tastefully sharpened overall. I can see you have applied some sharpening to this of some kind. There's some strangeness going on here with what appears to be like a couple of ghostish stars. I don't know if you guys can make those out, so I don't know what's going on there. Black point's a bit too black for me, and it appears to be a small gradient going across the image from left to right that's still prevalent, so it's a little bit grayer over here. Black point looks reasonably still a bit dark but more accurate. Over on the right it's kind of like inky black, so gradient removal, that'd be one thing I'd work on this image, and then some kind of exterminator tool, you know, BlurXTerminator probably, if you don't already have it, would really reduce these star sizes down a good bit. But I think the good point of this image for me, maybe you're not even looking for a critique, in which case I'm sorry. But the good point for this image for me is how well you've stretched it. Nothing looks overblown and stuff like that. It's pretty tastefully done. Yeah, good stuff, mate. Thank you for sharing. I've only had my C star out a few times since I had it in October. Anything in stacking I can do to help with those spikes, says Jim. Unfortunately not, mate, really. If you could, you know, if your scope's, let's say, riding right now on a Vixen dovetail plate, they do deflect noticeably with like an 8-inch Newtonian. So whenever I've had an 8-inch Newt and I've had the opportunity to, I switch over to a well clamped down Losmandy plate, as they hold on a little bit better. It spreads out, you know, the weight of that Newtonian better, and it stops some of that flexure is all I'm trying to get at, basically, mate. But yeah, potentially an upgrade to your dovetail plate would help get rid of that. Yeah, it's pretty image, Jim, all the same. M51 in HA LRGB from Ratbag. Been a huge fan of Luke's for a while now. Thank you very much, mate. Never realised it had a Discord server. We didn't until a few weeks back. Here's my first post and most recent project. Scavenger 200 PDS modded, 50mm f4, HQ5 Pro, 1600mm Pro, still putting in work, eh? What a camera. And an 8x1.25 filter wheel, LRGB, SHO, VADA filters, and ZWO for LRGB. Good stuff. So 10 hours of luminance, 10.5 hours rather, 6 hours of RGB, and 5 hours and 10 minutes of HA. Processing Pixie Sight with BlurX, Starnet, and Deep SNR V2. Is that one of Frank's tools? SETI Astro. Very pretty though, mate. Very pretty indeed. I see you've had some small issues as well there with the rotation on the spikes. That one, however, doesn't appear to be affecting the spikes that are like 90 and 270 degrees. It's just the ones that are at 0 and 180, if you like. So that could be a twisted spider vane that you're seeing right there that can cause like a doubling. Maybe worth looking down end at tube and figuring that out. As you can see just off edge at screen, there's evidence of a slight second spike going on there as well. Not trying to be picky, like I'm just trying to, you know, help if it's something you've noticed yourself in your data, but it's like a creamy, smooth M51, and I think your processing overall on this is very, very tasteful. Indeed, your black points set beautifully, at least for my monitor and the calibration that I've tried to apply to it, which is accurate as far as I know. Yeah, very nice stuff, mate. I think the only other thing I can see is I don't know what chroma corrector you've used, but I'm assuming it suffers from a degree of chromatic aberration, because I can see some of these stars' profiles changes very much based on the colour of the star. So let's say some of these stars around here, they have red halos a little bit around them, and the blue stars look ever so slightly bloated too. So if you get the chance and you want an upgrade, I would just suggest to you for a 200 PDS to have a look at a Skywatcher Aplanatic chroma corrector. That is the one that looks like... Oh, so it's on a Losmandy anyway. Got you. Fair enough, Jim. So it's not that then, mate. But let me just try to help this chap out here with the chroma corrector. Yeah, the Aplanatics I've found to be incredibly sharp indeed, if my streaming software would work correctly. Just hang on. It's the one that looks like this, basically, mate. So hopefully you can see the great big long tube. That's the chroma corrector that you want, ideally. I've tried a bunch of them, and I really did find that that's the best one. I'll just pop this down somewhere safely a second. Lucky for me, it just balances. But yeah, the scope can do so much. They typically got well-figured mirrors as well, even though they're mass-produced, those 200 PDSs. Tommy is asking... Oh, hello, by the way, Tommy. And hello, Kenneth. Let's just see. You can make a separate stack of just one side of the meridian and then use that stack for just the stars. I think this might help. That's possible, yeah. I think it probably would be meridian flip causing that, but it's hard to say for sure. Would a longer Losmandy allow you to spread out the support rings to help with flexure? Potentially. Sometimes adding a top ring as well, Mike, it can help even things out a little bit, but typically you're stuck a little bit with the, especially let's say like the Skywatcher tube rings that come with the Newtonians, is they've only got one central mounting bolt hole, so you have to really crank them down hard from that single bolt. And then they've got two stabilizing bolts at the side that you can't use on anything other than the initial Losmandy dovetail that comes with them. So Vixen dovetail. So you have to emit those and hope that you can get necessary stiffness from just two bolts. So upgraded rings as well can help. But other than that, only other thing I can think of that's happening is some sort of secondary mirror deflection. But I just don't think it'd look quite like it did on those images. Chroma corrector is brilliant. Maxfield 095s are fab as well, yeah. I've not tried those ones myself, but yeah, the Aplanatic, I've been through a lot of them, mate, and they're a bloody good piece of kit. What's your equipment today, Luke? 925 Edge HD and 6200mm cam? No, mate, so I've got, right now I'm running the Observatory, the Edge HD 11. We'll just quickly check on that, by the way, just to make sure that it's all running correctly still. So yeah, Edge HD 11 is running along here. Gathering data on NGC 3718, I think it is. And then the ASCAR SQA 55 with a 585 mono from QHY is running over here. Just gathering some data on, yeah, what's his name? You know what I've just done, by the way? I've just realised on this sequence I haven't set it to loop, have I? Or did I? Yeah, just one loop. Silly bugger that I am. So that's some time wasted there, guys, unfortunately. We'll just hit play again on that, and it is what it is. No use crying over spilt milk. I'll get back underway. At least this is why we check on things and you notice your silly mistakes. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's running on that other rig. 585 on an SQA 55. Now let's get caught back up with Discord and the chat panel. Always suspected. Can confirm I also get the diffraction spikes splitting with Macatro 200p before and after a meridian flip. I always suspected it was down to the flimsy stock rings it came with. Yes, they are pretty flimsy, unfortunately. So yeah, back where we were anyway on this. So it's seeing compression scale in this one. I understand that completely. It is a very beautiful image though, and it's silky smooth. So that integration time that is put on this has absolutely paid off. Cracking stuff. I think I gave it a like, didn't I? Yeah. Brian Fowler. Wow. What is this then, Brian? Can't see what he's put about this, so I don't know what he's captured it with. But yeah. Pretty darn beautiful stuff, I have to say. Black point's very accurately set. I think it looks tremendous. Overall processing is beautiful. Star sizes, shapes, colours. Yeah. I like that he's gone for like a bit of a non-standard colour palette as well. It's hard to say. I feel like it's maybe on the verge of being just a tiny bit too sharp. You know, clearly like there's been some AI-powered tool used to help sharpen this, you know, BlurXTerminator or something, but I don't know if he's applied it twice or something, because it looks like giga sharp, but it also looks really good at the same time, so it's a cracking image. Yeah, I don't know if you're here watching, mate, but well done. Well done indeed if you are. I'd love to know what you actually shot that with as well. Yeah, it's the Christmas tree. It is indeed. Yeah, it's the cone, the fox fur, That's Hubble's Variable Nebula, just up there, I do believe. And I can't remember the name of this up there. But yeah, what a target. And a really nice job processing it as well. Nothing, nothing's leaping off the screen as being wrong, if you like. Not that it's for me to judge. Just trying to be helpful with these critiques. M10, is it 4, the sombrero? I can't remember. It's Messier designation, but damn, I'd love to hit this target one of these years. Yeah, really pretty, I have to say. Looks like it's suffered from I don't know. I want to say maybe a little bit of atmospheric dispersion. Is it possible? Because there's a small amount. This will be center field performance, but it appears to be there's a small red fringe at the bottom of stars, a small blue fringe at the top of stars, pretty consistently across the frame. So maybe this is fairly low where Chuck shot it. I don't know. But either way, for such a small target from such a very reasonable focal length, just 400mm, killed it. M104, it was very low on the horizon. Got you. So thank you very much indeed, Pete, for just I'm assuming that's what it was then. Atmospheric dispersion we're seeing, splitting those colours, because that's not something we're seeing on the rest of Chuck's data. So that's what made me think it. Gem Hadar, another one right here. Beautiful stuff, mate. 8 hours of integration. I'm thinking Home Observatory might be onto something here. I wonder if this guy actually runs multiple sea stars. That would explain it. I think it could be that. If he ever pops in on a live stream, it'd be interesting to hear just exactly what his setup looks like. This is Old School Raver, who was here in the chat just a bit earlier on, I think. Horsehead and Flame. This could be my Hyperstar data, actually, looking at that. Possibly. Oh, yeah, Luke's Horsehead. Sorry. Reading comprehension fail right there. Nice job, to be honest, Old School Raver. Yeah, I have to say, your black point is nice. It's accurate in the areas where it should be black. The rest of the dust is kind of a tasteful, dusty brown. The only thing lacking from the image for me, I really like the rest of the processing, I have to say. The only thing that I would have liked to see brought out just a tiny bit more is this region round here, bleeding out into some of this background dust, appears to be like a bonish white that I talked about on the previous videos. That can be brought out nice, and it adds another layer of, I want to say, a way to perceive depth to the image. Almost, it almost looks like with this being lighter, it sets that flame back within the dust a little bit more, but it's overall very nice, and you've done a cracking job processing that. I want to say maybe you could have peeled back brightness of the stars very slightly, but you know what? In keeping with rest of image, I think it's pretty damn good. So yeah, well done. Hey, Chuck, how's it going, Chuck? 444 sea stars. Could be, mate. Yeah, could absolutely be. Yo, brother, how's it going, Smit Patel? Good to see you. Let's just see. How are you doing, Chuck? You having a good evening, buddy? We've just been actually looking at some of your images as well, talking about the sombrero and that it was low on the horizon, that kind of thing. Actually got to go, chaps. Nice one, Luke. Good night, all. Thank you, Cheap Astro. Always a pleasure, mate, spending some time with you. Astro Shared, thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the constructive feedback on my image of NGC 2905. I've reprocessed it with more attention to the star shape and a much better result. I've included the original and reprocessed version here. You have a gift for giving advice in a very respectful manner. Thank you, mate. That's bloody kind of you to say, is that? That's I have to say, looking at both of them side by side, I like them both overall. But yeah, cracking stuff, mate. Cracking stuff. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. I do remember looking at your image on the previous live stream on it, I think. Went through those. How do you think about the... oh, hi, Luke. Good to see you and everyone else. How's it going, Chuck? Yeah, it's lovely to come join in, mate. We were just... like I say, we were just talking about some of your work there and what you're getting from the RASA 8 at the remote location. It's absolutely phenomenal stuff, buddy. How do you think about the Apertura Carbon Star 150? I've got no hands-on experience with it, Smith, but I do have some second-hand, if you like, anecdotes about it. So the person who I purchased my Hyperstar 11 from got in contact a little while back and let me know how he's getting on with the rig that he's got instead of that now. And he actually purchased one of like the Carbon Star 150s, just the ASCAR version, I think. They're all very much similar telescopes, and he's incredibly happy with it. So yeah, apparently very good these days. And I know some of these scopes now have been changed over to using an aluminium tube, though, some of the very latest revisions of them. So maybe you'd like to look for one of those. I don't know, as apparently the aluminium tube ones are that little bit more stiff even than the carbon ones. As it happens, time was in to get some kip. Night all, great stream as ever. Hey, thank you, Derry. Really appreciate you coming and spending some time, buddy. I'll just try and run through some of these. So, Kira, a tentative first edit. I have no idea how to do this sort of HDR yet. It's a very dramatic image, I have to say. I don't know if I've got any anime watchers in the stream, but this looks like Berserk. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, love it. Very atmospheric shot. I've just noticed as well, this person here, partial lunar eclipse from the UK, JP. That's good work. It really is good work, because I know that by the time it was this far eclipsed in the UK, it was just about on the horizon, wasn't it? So, yeah, you love to see that, mate. Well done. And thank you for sharing that with the rest of us. I have just ballsed up a little bit there, haven't I? And accidentally closed that down, but we will get back. Here we are. Quick process of the lunar eclipse from Brody. So I think Brody was streaming the eclipse as well as part of Chuck's live stream. No problem at all, Smith. How's it going, Gary? Nice to see you. Quick process of your data. That's an interesting shot, that, Brody. I have to say, I like what you've gone for with the non-standard colours as well. Look at this thing. That's tremendous. That's a really nice image there, Brody. Well done, mate. I like in particular that one. Seems like we've got a couple of perhaps time-lapse or otherwise videos put together. Oh, that's a nice time-lapse. Look at that. Damn, I'll just try and make this full screen for you guys. Sorry, I'm just sat here enjoying it. I didn't even realise you couldn't really see, but yeah. That's cracking. I like that. Stuff like this. I mean, images is wonderful, but when you can see the shadow peeling away like that, it really gives you a sense of scale and motion, I think, unlike a photo sometimes. So Chuck, Explore Scientific 127, 2600 MC camera, Opton L Pro filter. Beautiful. Yeah, like that, Chuck. Like that a lot, mate. The contrast across the lunar face as well is convincing on that. Good stuff. I know you've enjoyed that Explore Scientific for a heck of a long time. If you're still here, Black Cat's Manor, by the way, as well. A few shots here from the eclipse. It seems like this thing just about broke the internet when you guys were streaming it. Not sure what's going on there. I think at one point Chuck was showing his subscriber count just going flying up, which is lovely to see. But yeah, lovely shot. Good work, all in for all of those actually as well. Jem'Hadar again, another C star. Data 17 hours long. Blimey, how are you doing it, mate? This is so much time. Kira, lunar eclipse time lapse from the Zenith Star 61 Apo 585. So this is a quick time lapse. Ooh, we like that. Did I just see something creeping off screen as well there as well? Something up at the top, perhaps? Oh yeah, background stars or something, I assume, maybe. Don't know. Really cool time lapse. Trying to catch up as much as I can, guys. I'm ever so sorry if are you guys still enjoying these Discord like breakdowns where we try and take a look at what the community has been doing, or is it something we need to do in separate streams, or what? I like doing them, so as long as you enjoy them, we're good to keep going. It's great. That's good to hear. That's yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we're still enjoying it together. Then that's a good thing. It's all good. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, guys. Yeah, as long as I'm not bugging you with it. So Alan M, integration 36, 2-second shots. So this must have been during totality, basically. In 15-second intervals around maximum clips. Yeah. Rebel T6, 75 to 300mm lens, set at 300mm f5.6. Okay, so wide open. Backyard in Kansas City. Lovely stuff, mate. Yeah, I think given that you've done this with such a modest setup as well, cracking work. Love to see it. It's that kind of thing, you know, I'd love to have been able to capture myself back when I got started as well. Getting some really good images of M101 tonight. Live streams are really good. Thank you, mate. I admire the way you can answer questions straight after reading the messages. Thank you, Jeremy. I do my best, mate. Always something to learn. Also nice to see different targets. It is, Jim, yeah. I think some of these definitely give me target inspiration. You know what I mean? Mike Dio Crew, the lunar eclipse and a couple of stars photo bombed me. Shot with an 8-inch edge and a Canon T7 using backyard EOS. There's a blast from the past, backyard EOS. Blimey. Lovely shot though, mate. I imagine this was not a short shot. Given how faint the moon would be looking at that point. It's like constructive criticism from the peanut gallery. Love it. Fantastic, mate. Pete's Astrophotography, my version of M51 with data provided by Chuck. So let's take a good look at this. So wonderful. Let's call a spade. Yeah, it's absolutely cracking. I think in terms of, let me just get myself square on with screen so I can really have a good look at these now. So the black point, if you are here, Pete, for me on my screen is just fractionally too high. But I know you'll have been editing this for your screen, won't you? So it's all right me saying that. But yeah, overall, mate, pretty wonderful processing. Very tasteful amount of detail as well you've pulled out of this thing without it looking forced. That's nice to see. If we could offer any more feedback, let me have a think about this, because it's hard to do critique on an image that's so close to being perfect. Do you know what I mean? The only other thing I'm going to say I can see on this, Pete, if you're listening, there appears to be, and I don't know if this is in the data and you've captured something here, but there appears to be a fleck of blue coming off the end of the tidal extension side of M51 right there. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. This going where the mouse pointer is right there. Not sure how that's got in there, or if that's some new data due to the depth of this thing. There appears to be a small red artifact around this background galaxy down here, and there also appears to be a small red ring artifact. It's presumably from when you've added the HA into this galaxy, just making itself visible around the body of M51, right there and there. I can see these on my screen. I don't know if you guys can. It's bloody faint, but like I said, I'm trying to give the best feedback I can, because fresh eyes are a thing. I like it when someone does it even to my own images and tries to give me feedback too. It's useful. I like a slightly raised black point. That's fair enough, Pete. Yeah. Certainly issues in my image. I've been trying out a new process to really push the data. Yeah, I mean, the amount of extension that you've pulled out of this is phenomenal. So I can only imagine the difficulty in getting the stretch to that level of completeness and depth without also getting, some extra stuff going on. But yeah, really beautiful image, mate. And I hope you don't think I'm being harsh on it or anything in any way, shape or form. I'm just trying to offer you any feedback I can, as you're already such an accomplished astrophotographer and editor, far more so than even me. It's just I think I've got the advantage of fresh eyes sometimes when looking at these things. You know what I mean? Chuck's Astrophotography, Christmas tree and cone nebula. I liked your recent sombrero. Me too, Gary. Yeah, we just took a look at that on the live stream. Reprocessed some 5-year-old data Oh, very sorry. Enjoyed the stream, mate. Got to hit the hay. Looking forward to Vardruna on Saturday. Yes, indeed, Josh. Gonna have some fun there, mate. Hope you have a cracking night. Thank you for spending some time with me, Josh. Appreciate it, buddy. Chuck's Astrophotography as well here. Feb 2020. Rasa telescopes. This will have been taken at your home then, Chuck. Back then, of course, because Starfront didn't even exist, did it back then? Narrowband filters, 163 subs, 2 minutes each, 14.45 hours. Okay. Damn. That's deep, yeah. Similar level of depth, really, to what we saw from, was it Mike? A little bit back, where we reviewed his non-standard processed SHO of the cone and the fox fur, and we saw a lot of this same sort of thing around the fox fur as well. Really incredible levels of detail. I'm astonished, to be honest. Yeah, you guys are getting so much out of your data. It is wonderful to see. I don't know if you want any feedback, because there's not that much to give. Hard to say. I think for me on my monitor, there could be maybe just a the tiniest bit, and I mean a tiny bit, too much overall sharpening that's happened as part of the process, but that's a taste thing. So I can't knock you for that at all, to be honest with you, because, you know, we all like different things. Beautiful is the key takeaway, and that goes again as well for Pete's work as well. Like I said, it's a pleasure taking a look at really, really beautiful data, as it is taking a look at people who are just getting started as well. Being able to observe where someone's at is lovely. So this is the tadpoles, taken, I'm assuming, through a dual band filter with a one-shot colour camera. Following one-shot colour to Hubble Pixie Sight processing workflow, which is all. Got ya. Fair enough, mate. So, Roberto. I think you've got kind of too much yellow in your background, which is making this look overly green. You could try adding a touch of red by masking out these regions right here with the green mask first. As to your blue segment right there for the oxygen, it's too far towards red, so it looks a little bit purple. So what you're going to probably have to do to that is either peel back the red or increase the green channel. That would also push it in the right direction once again. But overall, mate, good work. Your black point is just a touch high, but it's hard to set, I think, sometimes when doing this kind of processing. And there's a little too much sharpening for my personal tastes overall, leading to a little bit of a scratchy appearance, particularly on these finer details in the middle. But yeah, I can see where you're going with that, and I can see what you're trying for, and I applaud the effort. This stuff ain't easy. It takes a long time to really develop your eye for it, I think, even while you're working on stuff. Quite like that tadpole palette, really dramatic. Thank you. How can I show you photos taken by my cheap rig, phone and binoculars? If you do have some photos to send, Smith, you could upload them to the Discord, mate. Probably going to be difficult to do, though, isn't it, through phone and binoculars, I imagine. Take away your digital cameras and computer processing. Can you do this with film? Not a chance, no. Yeah, not a chance. It's just learning to use what's available today, isn't it? If you don't use the tools that are available today, you're going to be left using the tools of the past and left in the past as a result. Do you know what I mean? If you want to keep up, you've got to keep up. Ankalim, M31, new technique, old data, Redcat 51, 183 MC Pro, 8 hours, taken in Tuscany in 2022. Nice. Yeah, very pretty overall image. Black points set pretty damn accurately, I'd say, overall. There appears to be some small remnant gradients present in the image, top left, bottom left in particular. Nothing dramatic. There's a slight green cast over the whole thing, which leads me to think it's a monitor calibration issue, as you'd probably would have picked up on that if you're skilled enough to put together this kind of processing. A little bit soft, though, overall, is my main feeling. So, like someone commented just below it there, I noticed, kind of like a creamy feel. Well, I'd say it almost feels a bit dreamy, a little bit loose. Do you know what I mean? So it's very pretty overall. But yeah, if you wanted feedback, there it is. If not, crack on. It's a good image. I still remember taking images using film back in the day. It would be extremely painful compared to today's cameras and nowhere near as good. Yeah. I mean, there's two ways looking at it, I suppose, isn't there? I mean, it's very... I want to say it's a very honest way to do things, isn't it? If you're taking film and processing it and that kind of thing, it's a totally analog process. But with digital and the control that you have over a good deep stack of data these days, you can put your own kind of fingerprint on an edit, I feel. You know, once you actually edit enough images, you start to develop your own style, your own eye for things. And I feel like sometimes, let's say if you're browsing AstroBin or whatever, you can almost pick out who's edited an image before you even click on and see who the name was in some cases, because they've got such a signature style. And I don't imagine that with film you would have been able to even develop a signature style for astrophotography, just due to how limited it is. You've got less room for maneuver. And finally, I suppose the other way to look at it, at least one of the things I look at, I like to be on the edge of what's new but works well, because life's too short to spend it getting anything less than the best you possibly can. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I could be out there imaging with a film camera, but I'd be wasting my life. I'd just be having much more fun doing this digitally, sharing it with you guys digitally. But that's me. It certainly doesn't knock down the validity of film work, for sure, if that's what you enjoy. My God, I can ramble, can't I? I really need to shut the heck up sometimes. Full moon, bottle 5 hours integration, 2600 MC. Not sure what scope is used though. Or is this it? An SV220? I don't know actually. Pretty image though. Appears to be a little bit of a background mottle going on. Not too bad. Yeah, I like what you've gone for, mate. I can see where you're going with that one. Good work. M1 says Seek right here. M1, the Crab Nebula. Shot from a balcony here in the Netherlands. Bottle 5, L Enhance. Okay. ASCAR 103, EQ6, 2600 MC Air, and an L Enhance. Yeah. Beautiful amount of detail, mate. Yeah. Pretty tastefully processed when all's said and done. It could have stood maybe a touch of noise reduction, just for my tastes, looking at it on my screen, but your black point's accurate. For my screen, again, my calibration, my eyes. And the amount of detail you've pulled out is nice. Maybe edging a little bit towards green overall, which is debatable, but yeah, cracking. It's a really nice shot, mate, so well done, if you see that. M1, okay, 99 to go. Yes indeed. Oh, you've just seen that, Jim. Yeah, Home Observatory with the €500 donation. My goodness gracious me. I'm still gathering my thoughts after that, mate. If you're still here, Home Observatory, of course, thank you again. I hope you know how much that kind of support means to me. A very great deal indeed. Chuck's Astrophotography here with some old Detroit data. Hopefully for the better. Explore Scientific 127mm Apo, 1600mm CGX, and astronomic filters just below 8 hours. Yes indeedy. That's beautiful. I like that, Chuck. Yeah, I really like that. Not much to say really, other than cracking stuff. I don't know if you can see, there's a slight blue cast to the background, very slight, but that's probably the only thing I'd change on that if it was my image. Alas, it is not. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Well done, Chuck. We'd love to see that. Incredibly generous to an amazing lad. He's helped me out. Oh, thank you, Jim. You're too kind, mate. You're too kind. That's a nice Andromeda. I'd recommend Luke's PixInsight Workflow process for that galaxy, available on YouTube. Hey, probably get more out of that 8 hours a day. Possibly, Gary. Yeah, I mean, This is the thing. I'm looking at these. I don't know half the time what people have had access to while processing. For me, I've got like all the tools, so it's a little bit easier. My version of the Lagoon Nebula with data provided by Chuck's Astrophotography. So I'm assuming this is the same data that Pete's processed right here. So he's gone for a bit more of a cropped in look on it, and certainly more of a dramatic core as well. Now I do like that. Looking now between the two, Chuck's looks like a lagoon, a big pool, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Right there. Almost like a lagoon with sulfur deposits around the outside or something like that, if that makes sense. Pete's now has depth, so it does look like gas. It looks more gaseous and then structured towards the core. We are getting into we're getting into muddy artistic waters here, I realise, but you know, when you really zoom in, yeah, both of these images really stand on their own merit. There's not much I need to say. Overall, like we've talked about before, Pete settles for a slightly higher black point than me, generally speaking. But damn, the third dimension that Pete's fetched into this image right there is also very, very beautiful indeed. Cracking work. You can see what I mean by that, by the way, is it really gives, it's a flat image, of course, right? So any effort to bring in that third dimension and depth, telling us more about the structure of this target, I think is to be applauded. So yeah, we can clearly see, you know, this looks like it's closer to us than this, which is closer than this. It's all laid out for you to see right there. Beautiful stuff, mate. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal editing right there. L8 Silver Wolf. Really early capture in the process from the Seagull, but I'm loving where it's going. Okay, forgot to add the details. 9.5 hours of capture between March the 7th and the 9th. 5-minute captures. Redcat 61, 2600 MC Duo. Post process in Pixinsight. Okay, so your black point's just a tiny bit high for me, and you've missed some cropping. You know, you should have cropped some more of this top and bottom off. There's a little bit of stacking artifacts creeping in, which could throw off the rest of your calibration going on. I don't know if you can see those at the top. The minor thing, but I'm just pointing out just in order to try and help you if you do ever see this. As to stretching, if I was you, I would try generalized hyperbolic stretch on this to preserve some of these lighter spots, such as the end of this thing right here, while still being able to bring out the mid values in this image. And that'd be where I'd go with it. But overall, yeah, I can see what you're trying for with this, and I think it's a nice, pretty image. Well done. Pete's Lagoon looks 3D. It does indeed, mate. Yeah, like I say, both are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, both are beautiful. They've used totally different palettes from one another, totally different end results. But yet, both images are beautiful. There's no two way around it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, cracking stuff. I wonder what like a 50-50 would be of the two. M42's core from Doombringer. Narrowband version, of course, as well. So, very pretty indeed. You tend not to see Orion imaged too much with narrowband filters, as there's so much in there to see reflection nebula-wise that you lose, really, when imaging just in narrowband, I think. But yeah, it's pretty. Well done. Completely missed the stack points. Tried GHS, but it's still super new for me. I just haven't got the hang yet. Ah, okay. So, is this you then, Nick P? L8 Silver Wolf. Yeah, so just these at top. Looks like there's been a slight, you know, rotation during stacking, etc. that you've missed there. It's not much. Probably won't cause many issues. But yeah, mate. Keep cracking on, I think. Keep doing what you're doing. You're certainly moving in the right direction there. Drunk Cola, 55 minutes, bottle 7, edited on the phone, and snapped with the phone app. Excuse me. I keep swallowing air while I'm talking. Sorry about that, guys. I got you, Nick. Thank you then, mate. How's it going, SMA Sky? Nice, mate. I can see, obviously this has been challenging data to edit, especially on your phone as well. But yeah. Just keep cracking on, dude. Having some fun with your C-Star. That's what it's all about. If you get the chance to try the data on your PC, perhaps if you can upload it and move it across, or copy the files across. You might want to try out Cyril. That's a good free processing tool that may be able to tackle some of these background gradients you can see in here, and perhaps a bit more of a crop would help get rid of some of the stacking artifacts that's caused these darkened edges right here. But yeah, keep on keeping on, mate. Christoph Domansky, a bit of a break from the nebulae. I can respect that, Christoph. M44 has its charm, although it looks unspectacular. Ascar 71F 585MC over 700 frames. Huh. I can see. Oh, you didn't. I thought it'd been really compressed then, but yeah, I can see a lot of colour in those stars. I like that it appears to be mainly as well the cluster itself that got some colour. The background is like hyper uniform, I will say, so there's probably some wiggle room for a bit more of a stretch, but what's really the goal at that point? So it's absolutely arguable as to whether you already knew that yourself and chose to just leave it at this exact stretch level. As to any technical issues with the image, none really to speak of. I think the black point's pretty accurate, maybe just a tiny bit too low for me. But if it was me and you want that feedback, I would probably have stretched a tiny bit more, because I can see evidence of some small background galaxies, such as right up there, that could be fetched out just a bit more with a slightly deeper stretch, such as this Edge-on galaxy right here. That'd add another element of dimension to this image, giving more sense of, you know, scale and space. Pretty image though, mate, and I can absolutely appreciate going after cluster, especially in even an open cluster like that as well. Beautiful stuff. Background's pretty nice. Hey, no problem, John Cola. Yeah, if you download Cyril on your PC, mate, and want to have a go at that data again, just to see difference really between what you can do on your phone versus what's possible on a PC, even with free software, that could be a good spend of time. Yeah. Is your Discord open to the public or an invite type thing? If you just check the pinned comment, mate, at the top, it should see discord.gg right there, and that link code, you should be able to just click that and join straight in. No problems at all. Locaton right here, NGC 4449 IR test. Very interesting stuff, this. So a Zena M, ASF 533, and a Barda 685 nanometer bandpass as well. So not particularly deep infrared on that. 2 hours of exposure, very humid weather, bad for IR, yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting, mate. It looks like it's quite hard to see on my monitor. Let me just... Yeah, I am actually definitely picking up some banding in this image. So I don't know whether you've not calibrated this data with biases or maybe not enough bias frames, or perhaps you need to dither a little more aggressively or something. But some fixed pattern noise is creeping into this stack, unfortunately. On otherwise very interesting looking data. So if you do see this, Locaton, it might be worth increasing the frequency and amount of your dithers if you can for this, and maybe get a deeper master bias that you're going to work from for calibrating the data to get rid of those background lines, as they're only going to get worse as the stack gets deeper, basically. But yeah, really cool idea. How's it going, Brody? Good to see you, mate. SMA Sky, don't get as much time in Discord as I'd like. That's fair enough. Thanks, Luke, for the good words about M44. Oh, thank you, Christoph. I'm glad you were watching, mate. It's a very pretty image indeed. Well done again on that. And like I say, I feel like on a target like this, it's really down to the editor what they really wanted to see from it, innit? So yeah, well done. This is my submission that you missed, Luke. Got your RAM. All right then, mate. Well, if you're still here, let's give you your horsehead feedback then. So, the depth of stretch is good. The overall color balance is pretty good. It's not bad. Some of that lighter color is coming out down here, but not quite towards that bone white that we've seen that is possible from the data. There's obviously the this large green gradient, and I'm not sure exactly what's gone on there as to why that's present in the top right, and to a lesser extent along this whole left edge. How you'd tackle that is hard to say without seeing what caused it, because it could even be an inaccurate background extraction that's caused that in the first place. So for me, I would try to get rid of it with GradientXpert much earlier on in processing, and see if you could flatten things out that way. But yeah, as to stretching, you've suffered from the same problem that a lot of other folk have, where Alnitak has ended up going kind of nuclear due to its overall brightness, but not really being taken care of during the stretching phase. So if I could suggest anything to you to try, it would be to have a go at stretching this data once again after flattening out the background, but try with generalized hyperbolic stretch, and you should be able to note that you can really bring up these midtones, especially some of these low mid values down here as well, while taking care of those highlights and not letting them get out of hand, but still present themselves in this image. Other than that though, mate, there is obviously some green issues going on. It almost looks like oxygen 3 teal that's visible in here, but it's also visible in the core of this nebula too, so it's clearly a cast across the whole thing. But as to available detail, it's good, and overall control of noise is also good. So there's a lot to work with there, but obviously some points for you if you wish to take those on board. Ram, I hope that was helpful to you, mate. And I'm sorry I missed them in the first place as well. Joey Trots, really enjoying your critiques. Oh, that's good to hear, Joey. Tried to upload one of mine, but keeps erroring out next time. Oh, sorry to hear that, Joey. What's the problem that you're having in particular? Is there something maybe we can help you with there? Ram, 1 hour ago, again. NGC 7000, North American Neb, Ball 7, 4 hours of integration. So you're working on limited integration time there, that's fair enough. Divid and drizzled every 2 lights, so that's very diligent of you. Dax and bias, no flats, AM3 mount, 533 MC Pro. Okay. Let's take a look then. So yeah, overall, mate, I like what you're going for. There appears to be a little bit of a yellow cast across most of the image, rather than the traditional green that would see present on a lot of them. So there's that to bring in mind. Some of your darker points are just on the verge of being clipped, but the rest of the image, which should have a more neutral black point, is actually a little bit bright for my liking, which would hint to there being a large scale gradient across some of this image still present. It's kind of hard to pick out at the minute, but I feel like there's almost a dip gradient, so like a sphere in the middle that's a bit darker and a lighter donut around the outside. You'd obviously be better placed than me to say if that's true or not. There's certainly a lightening up this right hand side. Now, when you've edited this and you've gone obviously to try to get the Hubble palette from one-shot color data, this has ended up overly lightened, unfortunately, as a result probably of a mask being a little bit too aggressively applied, I'd want of a better term, which has led to this whole edge of the named target NGC 7000 there, the wall, losing its colour and contrast, so it's become a little bit nondescript. There are features in there to see which unfortunately have been lost in the image. But on the whole, I can see what you've been going for, and it's not an easy thing, so I want to not put you off. Basically, you were making good steps. Just keep at it, mate. Keep trying. Hopefully take the feedback that I'm giving you on board as to how I'd try to address these things. So first off, gradient. Next up, a little bit more care with mask placement, especially on the object that that your eyes are going to be drawn to on this thing. But yeah, other than that, mate, good stuff, and keep up the good work. Do you mind if I announce my YouTube videos on the Discord? No, not at all, Brody. Go for it, mate. That's absolutely fine. Flats time, and then to bed. Fair enough, amp to amp. Joey, use PNG. Yeah, that's good advice for sure as well. Sean, thank you so much for that, Sean. Bloody hell. Welcome aboard the new members. From very kindly gifted there by Sean Maston once again. Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate that. it means a lot. Yeah, no problem, Brody, mate. No problem at all. Thank you, by the way, both you and Stan, for the work you do on the Discord. Appreciate it, guys. Definitely do. Derry316, compression's not been kind to the image. Sorry. Luke the Pope would like your critiques of the Sistine Chapel. I'll see if I can fit him in. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sorry, Cosmic Ray. I hope you don't think I'm being, overly rude to people or anything like that. I'm certainly not trying to be. I'm just trying to offer useful feedback to folks. And as I say, I'm not trying to profess myself as some master processor or something like that, because I'm not. But I'm reasonably experienced, and I've got a decent eye, so I'm just trying to help people with that. So, right, let's just break down this image. Derry316, compression's not been kind. Yeah, understand that, mate, completely. 9 hours and 30 on IC443. Captured over the last few weeks on a Skywatcher 72 ED Pro on your AZ GTI mount, 585MC and an IR cut filter. Okay, background extraction, denoised using GradientXpert, and stacked and edited in Serial and GIMP. Okay, so we'll bear that in mind with any critique that I can offer for you on this one then. So it appears like there's, I want to say, some degree of colour bleed going on around these brighter stars. If you guys can see that, there's like a bleed, a very hard-edged bleed, almost like a mask, but I'm not sure if it is from masking, because the rest of the image looks like it hasn't really had masks used on it. But it's a magenta colour, and it's quite strong in the image. So what you could do to try and get rid of that magenta without messing with the rest of the colours in your image is if you can invert the image in Serial and then apply SCNR at full strength and then invert the image once again. You should get rid of all of those magenta tones, as magenta is the inverse of green. So you can get rid of it that way. But yeah, overall, colour balance, mate, it's not easily done with a broadband filter, that's for sure. Background is a little bit bright for me. I think it could stand, obviously, some noise reduction. If you can use GradientXpert, can you use GradientXpert denoise? Denoised using GradientXpert. Okay, so you could stand a bit more denoising for my tastes. Sorry I missed that. But yeah, good work, mate, and keep up with it. You being a painter helps a bunch, Luke. I'd hardly call myself a painter, but it probably does help. Yeah, being able to recognise colours. Yeah, thank you for that, Mike. I've sent a photo, Luke. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Smith. I'll hopefully get to that shortly then. So maybe I'll need to refresh this page, because this is what I posted to demonstrate to people how you posted an image to Discord. This is my own M101 right here. Looking at it now, you see, this is the thing. When you're in the middle of editing, you can be like, oh yeah, I'm happy with that, I'll hit save. Looking back at it now I've had a little bit of a break from it, I'd set the black point just a tiny bit lower. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I say, I'm certainly no master myself. Overall though, gotta say I'm pretty happy with that data. I think one of these days we need to do a live stream where we can try to have a process along and do that kind of thing. I think that'd be a bit of fun. Announce my video and the uploads from other YouTubers' channel. Nice one, Brody. Yeah, good on you. We do have, so just along the side here, this is what Brody will be talking about. Uploaded a short film I made of the lunar eclipse. Good stuff. I would watch it for you on stream, Brody, but I don't want to take your views away from you. Do you know what I mean? By people watching it on here and then not watching it on your channel, which is it's a thing, I suppose, with React content. Is it ultimately a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. The lens you thought was a cine lens when going through the rigs. Oh, it's the SB Bunny 555. Got you, Jim. Okay, that's fair enough, mate. Thank you for highlighting that. Don't watch Songs Copyright. Thank you, Brody. Yeah, appreciate that, buddy. But yeah, we got stuff coming up from other people on here. Let me just open up the images once again. We do have some more submissions, of course we do. Right, I'll power through these a little bit then, guys, and then I'll have to probably wrap the stream up shortly, as unfortunately Chloe's been left a long time now with our son, so she'll be getting a little bit tired and need some relief, a bit of help. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, this stream. It's been a really good one. Whisper says, quarter second exposure time, 274 frames, untracked, bought late from London, 100 bias darks and flats, mounted the iPhone 12 onto the eyepiece. Okay. Bloody hellfire, eh? So shot with your iPhone 12 using eyepiece projection. Damn, mate. Well, that's ace, actually. Yeah, given the difficulty through which you've had to go to make this happen, good on you, mate. That's good to see. Currently trying to get 1926 1-second exposure to the Flaming Star Nebula to stack. In all my shots, I suffer from everything getting stretched with lens distortion around the edges. Yeah, you're not really going to be able to avoid that, unfortunately. There's so many elements trying to act and counteract if you're using eyepiece projection and then taking a photo through that as well. It can be challenging, especially with a good phone as well. With a larger sensor, it gets even worse. GIMP is a great lens distort tool, which you can set to negative numbers. Okay. Yeah. What tools would you recommend to apply this transformation across multiple frames? I probably wouldn't apply it across multiple frames. If I was you, I'd stack the data and then apply it to the master. You know what I mean? Let the frames stack as they will, and then just edit the one once it's stacked up. I hope that helps you there, mate. But yeah, good stuff, and very intrepid of you. Home Observatory, the Soul Nebula. Let's take a little bit of a look. So you're supposed to use the Astro Bin link there as well if you want to see it in better quality, guys. But let's take a good look around this now. So, beautiful image. I have to say, mate, I like the copper tones, like the coppers leading into almost a brownish red, and then these yellows coming through from behind of like this leg right here. I want to call it like a knee or something of nebulosity. It gives a good sense of depth overall to this image. I don't actually dislike the bit of green that's coming through in the bottom of this. I'm actually pretty on board with non-standard palettes in narrowband processing. I think it can accentuate for sure. I like the O3 tones that you've got going on through the image. There's a small amount of evidence of haloing, like a magenta halo left behind, but it's really faint around particularly these core stars right here, this star here. I'm noticing it on a little bit. And these, don't know if that's coming through in your image before upload as well, or is something been introduced by compression or whatnot. But yeah, really pretty image. I think my overarching feedback for the whole thing would be it could stand to be a slightly lowered black point for me, just personally speaking, and maybe as a final step, because it's so close to completion for me, it is a completed image, but if you want to take it just up one more tiny step, what I would personally do is at this point, adjust that black point, take the stars out using StarXTerminator, and then apply a very small S-curve overall to the actual nebula-only image, leave the stars alone, and then rescreen everything back in. And I think it'll just pop that tiny bit more right now. But yeah, very pretty image on its own right, mate. So hopefully that's useful feedback to you. I don't think you've gone overly far or under far or anything. It's really tastefully done with colours as well. So I want to give you that credit where it's due as well. I did as you said. Okay. Explain what you mean by raising or lowering the black point. Yeah, I can try to do that, Stan, if you want, mate. So let me just... By shift Windows snip, let me just, I hope this is okay, Home Observatory. I'm just going to snip your image a moment. This is this is very sketchy stuff to be doing, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll just try to be helpful for a moment. So I'm going to fire up PixInsight. Let's just we're going to be limited with what we can do, of course, on a screen grabbed JPEG, but hopefully you'll see roughly what I'm talking about. So there's a few ways you can go about altering black point, but let's say on this image right here, you could take a look at where it sits currently. So there's your histogram distribution. This left-hand side is the back wall of the histogram, indicating values at 0, complete 0. The far right-hand side is pure white values, so 65,000 or so on a 16-bit scale. And you can lower the black point overall by just dragging along this bottom slider. So I'll put a real-time preview on. You can see brighter, darker, 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 until the point where you start to truncate your data by pulling this in. So you can see shadows, there's a small clipping value there. So if we just start to drag it in deliberately, we've now clipped the blacks, and we're actually literally, we've got a feedback of that digitally right there, that we are effectively just eating some of the data. It's beyond recovery at that point. So trying to set it can be a little bit of a bugbear, but let's say if you just zoom in for a moment. Of course, this is just a snip to JPEG, so it's not perfect. Round about here, on my monitor, to my eye, looks pretty much perfect for a black point. This is very slightly bright. You know what I mean? It's hard to kind of set it brighter without actually having to stretch the overall image. But hopefully you can see what I mean there. So for me, I'll probably set it about there, black point wise. Now, as I talked about, now that's been set, I take the stars out, the StarXTerminator. Just let this run a moment. Okay, stars have been taken out. Left with this nebula only image right now. Curves, preview, RGBK selected. So I'd pump up the mids, which is going to have the effect of brightening the whole thing, as long as we're not going too far and just paying attention to the very brightest features in the image, which is this knot of nebulosity right here. So just go up a little bit. This would be too far, just to demonstrate. We're starting to lose information by it being clipped into the white. But that itself is certainly okay. Then I'm going to try and pull the black point back down to just about where we left it before. So around about there, just by eye. You can cycle back and forth and make sure that you're not altering, paying attention to this black spot right here, the background. Now you can see it's just popped up, just another step. There's more features immediately becoming apparent to the eye, such as this ring of oxygen 3, a bit more denser O3 coming through right there, these waves of it, if you like, coming through there as well. So for me, I'd apply that just at that right there. Starless, stars, rescreen. And now you're left with that. So if you just take this back to what it was, hopefully this is a useful demonstration for you. So close those down. So we've gone from image on the left. So applying my own feedback, which I talked about, to the image on the right. So take an area of interest, let's say here, that demonstrates some of the black point, some of the main nebula. You know, hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Part of it is a taste thing, but just part of it's also an experience thing about looking and realizing what's possible with the data as it is. So hopefully that's a reasonable demonstration for you. It's never going to be perfect when you're working with a screen grab, is it? But yeah, I'll just quickly check chat because I realize I've had it off the screen for you. More of an amateur astronomer, that's fair enough. Yeah, real astronomers are mad at me when setting the dark point too low. Understand that, mate. Yeah. Skyway Boney, is it? Oh yeah, isn't it? Trevor talked about that on one of his videos, actually. That's fair enough. Let's just see. You're watching this, awesome. So does that explain for you what I meant there, Stan? Does that kind of talk you through what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like, I'd like to see a slightly lower black point, etc., or slightly brighter? Perfectly. Oh, good stuff. So yeah, it basically all just boils down to the positioning of the histogram. So if we just take a look side by side as well to just further accentuate the point we're talking about right there. We'll pull up the view of the initial image. So a screenshot, you can see is balanced the peak of it effectively on this first intersection point right here on the histogram, leaving a lot of room against the back wall. check the one that I just edited, just pushed back a bit. That's all it is, really. So you're taking up some of this blank space right here and bringing your data closer to that as its starting point, giving that impression of heightened contrast and a deeper overall effect. So yeah, like I say, hopefully that's a reasonable demo for you. They pronounced it SV Bounty on their 8th anniversary video repeatedly. Maybe Trevor is a master troll and he's just come up with that, and now it's now it's in the common vernacular. Lucas 2, the Large Magellanic Cloud, LMC from Down Under. Bloody heckers, mate. Balls 5-6 hours of integration. It's a dramatic image, I will tell you that much. So, when viewed in this context, just looking at the whole thing, it's very pretty and dramatic, I have to say, but there are a few technical issues. Excuse me, I keep swallowing my air while I'm trying to talk to you. So there's a large gradient going through the image from right and bottom, so really bottom right to top left. As you can see, it's lighter here, darker up here, which knocks things down a little bit. Obviously, some of the brighter regions are monstrously bright, so they've been blown out just a touch while stretching the rest of the image. So again, that's where generalized hyperbolic stretch would probably come in and save the day a little bit there. There's an overall color cast to the background. In this case, it's indigo, I want to say, so it's a deep blue, very slight leaning towards purple. And there's also portions of the image which are coming through slightly green as well. But again, I don't want you to feel like I'm picking these things apart, because we're all at different points in this processing journey. I'm literally just trying to help. I think it's a beautiful image. It catches my eye. Do you know what I mean? So do you ever use dark structure enhancing Pixin Sight? Used cautiously, I think it plays well. It's getting a good black point. Sometimes, Joey, I find I have really mixed results with it, though, to be honest, bud. Yeah. It's yeah, sometimes. You can hook up 2 images in Pixin Sight using Control plus drag and drop to the title. Hook them up. No, I didn't know that, mate. So they're both move in tandem with one another the whole time. That's really cool if so. Rusifald, all shot with the Edge 8 2600mm LRGB filters, processing your LRGB Galaxy tutorial. Brilliant. Can't remember exact exposure times, but all shot either a single night or 2 nights at the most. Okie dokie. So there's a gradient present on this. It does look like nice data, but of course it's this much lighter bottom left, much darker top right. So I tried to balance out that gradient, and then otherwise, mate, a little bit of sharpening. If you have BlurXTerminator or something, that would go a long way on this image, because I can see some serious promise in it. This is the is it called the Black Eye Galaxy? This one I can't remember. Really milky appearance to that outside. I love that, but the core has lost some of that fine flocculent cloud detail right there for me, as a result of the black point being overall too high. So the gradient's largely gone in this image. There's still a small prevalent gradient, slightly red in top right, slightly bluish bottom left. But if you could set the overall black point a little bit lower, that would come out more. And probably look pretty astonishing, to be honest. This is Bode's Galaxy, of course. I think you've done really, honestly, quite a nice job on that. It could stand perhaps a pass of BXT or something if you have it. But overall, nice. A little bit of a gradient, like we talked about before as well. Top right's darker than bottom left. But still, nice shot. And there's some sort of artifact. I don't know what that part is, just over there. It's too close to be Bode's, I think, isn't it? But yes, there's some sort of artifact top left, bottom right, which maybe would have been worth even cropping it out of if you can't get rid of it from the data. But overall, there's a little bit of a green cast over this whole image now, so you can hopefully see some of that in the outer reaches of the Cigar Galaxy right there. Kind of greenish rather than this blue, so there's a hint of the colour that it should be just there coming through. If you could get the rest of it closer to that, along with like a whitish hue, that'd be really, really nice. But there's a lot of promise in that data, mate. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Time to warm my little man to bed. Hey, no problem, Milkman. Great live stream. Oh, you have a great rest of the night, my friend. Good night, everyone. See you on the next one. Brilliant stuff. Russell says, artifact on the top left is where my dust buddies didn't calibrate out on my luminance frames and I didn't want to throw them away, so I just cropped it, but missed that corner. Got you, mate. No problem, Russell. Hopefully you enjoyed that feedback there, Russell, and appreciate it with the spirit in which it's offered. Like I say, just trying to offer quality feedback if I can. Thank you very much. Hey, no problem at all, buddy. Thank you for sharing your images. It's an absolute pleasure. I think you've got some really, really promising data to work with there. So this one is from Jim. Again, AstroPix. Ryan and Horsed, GT81, 26-1 structure color, and mono. Right then, Jim. A little bit of a purple cast to the background that I'm seeing on my screen, buddy. Slight purple halos around some of the stars, as well as some of the luminosity overall has been robbed somehow. So somewhere along the line, the processing that's been applied has taken down the overall peak luminosity of those stars to the point where they look a little bit hazy or fogged out. Again, this is one of those things I don't know if it's coming across even on your monitor, because let's be honest, we're looking at it with two different pairs of eyes, two different screens. So overall, it's very smooth. Detail where it's needed, so I like that. Color balance is overall good. There is some wiggle room, I think, if you get the rest of the background sorted as well. Black points a touch too high. But yeah, it is a very nice image on its own. I don't want to feel like I'm being too negative on these things. Like I say, those are the things that I'd try to address. Looks potentially like you've maybe used StarNet on something, or something to take the stars out of this image. Because I'm seeing a very fine, like a hatch, like a grid hatch that I've sometimes seen from StarNet in the past over this star right here. Only you'll know, of course, on that one as to what it actually is, but yeah. Struggling with the screening. So that's the re-screening, eh? Do you have PixInsight, Jim? You can just use those tools that I've offered. That's just the baseline math, just turned into a couple of drag and drops, basically. That should remove any potential points of error. Okay, got you there, Jim. And was it StarNet or is it StarXTerminator that you've used for taking stars out of that shot? Just so we know, I'd like to understand myself as well further what's going on. Clement, M81 and M82 with HARGB. Okay, 2600 duo, 200, 1000, so an F5 Newtonian on an EQ6. All shot at -20, bin 1, 16 hours, 20 minutes of integration total. Looking at thanks. Yeah, it was StarNet. Got you. Okay, so the hunch was good. That's, at least we know that. Thank you for confirming that for me, Jim, mate. I appreciate your time. This is pretty. Oh, you know what? Compression's ruined it, hasn't it? But bloody hell, that shows some serious promise, Clement. I have to say that I imagine on your screen, pre-being compressed, this must look tremendous. The Interstellar Flux Nebula has structure in some of its regions. Look at this. You can see almost 3 fingers of IFN in the background right there. Wonderful stuff. It really, really... I imagine that's an astonishing image on your screen. Unfortunately, it's just been ruined a bit by compression. Very sorry to see that, but yeah. Blimey, I wish that had came through properly. From the compressed image though, I can see it looks like your black point's really bloody good as well on this image. So yeah, we like to see that, at least where you can see black, so around here. Rest of the image, it'd be hard to set a proper black point because it's just a swath of interstellar flux, as this image is so deep. Can you look on AstroBeam for a better result? I can, yeah, actually that's a good suggestion, mate. Oh, I've been logged out. Here we are. AstroClem. Ah, so this got a top pick as well. Yeah, it's a beautiful image, that, mate. Beautiful image. Now I'm able to look at it really close up. It's absolutely a tremendous, tremendous shot. I get the feeling, and please do correct me if I'm wrong, that when you've added the HA to this image, it looks like the mask has been ever so slightly too blurred, as each one of these HA regions has a faint glow around it, rather than a precision of application. It looks good, really good, don't get me wrong, but there appears to be a small glow around each one of those, so maybe less overall mask smoothing would apply sharper overall effect. And also it appears that some regions of the image are showing a little bit of I want to say hallucination from perhaps BlurXTerminator being applied when the image is in a non-linear phase. So you'll know whether you've done it or not, but it looks like BXT has been applied to this at some point in processing where the image was no longer linear, which has introduced some small artifacts, such as around here. This is, it's far more textured than it should be in reality, but it's a very nice effect, I have to admit. So, far be it from me to, to give you any negative feedback. It's a beautiful image, and we must not lose sight of that. So, yeah, hopefully that's useful feedback for you. Astro Clem, tremendous. Yeah, tremendous. So Jack has posted, just on last few here, by the way, guys, and then I will have to wrap up this live stream, unfortunately. Tadpoles and Flaming Star, work in progress, FF80, ASCAR, D1 and D2, 4x pellet. Okay, 3 hours per filter. So the main thing, unfortunately, with this image is quite a strong background cast of blue on this. In fact, it's almost teal, so it's like it looks like an image that's been taken with a full moon nearby or something like that, because it's like evenly prevalent through the whole image. Maybe you'd be able to confirm if that's the case or not, but that's just a guess. It looks like the oxygen 3 side of the data has been corrupted a little bit by some moonlight bleeding through or some other form of pollution, making it appear where it shouldn't be. But yeah, overall, there's some work to be done on this one, I feel. The O3 is drowning out the rest of the tadpoles a little bit, so I'd like to see a touch more separation on those, if all you could, and maybe a slightly darker black point overall. But yeah, good stuff, Jack. Don't you just hate it when your laptop decides to shut down and reboot during a session? No. Yeah, that's rough, mate, that. Astro Mess QC, Seb. 45, 3-minute subs, game 104, 533, 120. And an aperture of 72mm FPL53 doublet. Okay. Process PixInsight. Beautiful, mate. Yeah. Really quite tasteful. I think that black point's too bright for my screen, but yeah, I like it. Given that you've taken this with the 72 as well, I think the star, sizes have been really well controlled overall. And, everything's balanced. Everything's in balance. Nothing is throwing the balance of the image off too much, other than just the slightly too bright black point for my tastes. But yeah, nice. Keep cracking on, mate. You're doing some good work there. Smith. So this is the image you posted. Got ya. So Orion belt with just phone and tripod, 41 minutes. Cropped as well. Okay. Bodes and Cigar, 7 minutes. And Leo Trio failed. Okay, so the wide field, unfortunately, been compressed a bit too much by Discord, buddy, but you can actually see, because we know what we're looking for, you can see a little hint of Bernard's loop just appearing right there, which is incredible stuff that you've got it on your phone. And also from the top stars in Orion, in the constellation right there, if you follow along, what you've actually picked up there as well is the Rosette Nebula, just underneath my mouse pointer. Hopefully you can see that. So that's another cool feature that maybe you didn't realise you'd captured, just up there. But yeah, nice work, mate. Interesting capture there. The close-up is a little bit too far in, of course, for what you've been working with. But you've got so much out of your phone that you've even managed to pick up, some colour in Orion. So yeah, beautiful stuff, mate. I'm impressed with what you're doing with your phone. That's really cool. It shows some major initiative as well, that you're getting out there and just working with what you've got. I can respect that. Need to go and sort this out. Great chat all. Awesome stuff, Jim. Yes. Astro Clem, thank you for the react. Hey, no problem at all, mate. Thank you for submitting your image. I really, really appreciate it. A little bit too much smoothness for the mask of the HA. Okay. I'm going to reprocess my image in the future. Sorry for my English. Sorry for my French. I'm English. No, mate, don't worry about it at all. Crikey. If I could fluently speak a second language like you can, I'd be over the bloody moon. So no, it's wonderful. It was one of my photos. I got you, Smith. Yeah. So yeah, nice work overall, buddy, and good work for getting so much out of the gear that you have available to you. That's lovely to see. Joe Bob ATL from earlier this year, Explore Scientific 102CF. I remember when Trevor Jones had one of those. I was fawned over that thing. I thought to myself, one day I'll have one of those. Good night, Luke, and everyone in chat. Brilliant stuff. Good night, Ron. Thank you for coming and spending some of your evening with us all, mate. We appreciate it. 2600mm, PixInsight, Photoshop, Exterminator Suite. Got ya. 9 hours total. Cool stuff, mate. Yeah. A little bit too much smoothing on the sides, but you know what? I'm here for it. Along with the context of the rest of the image, I like what you've gone for, and I hope that you're happy with your shot. Good stuff. And finally, Astro Playground. Uploaded this without a message. Some old crappy data that reprocessed with some better knowledge. Please be kind. Hey, no problem at all, mate. So yeah, if this is your version of old crappy data, I think it's a good job you saved it. Yeah, you've been able to breathe some new life into this, mate. There's a lot going on. It's a very moody feel to the image. Do you know what I mean? This can look like a very bright region with obviously a lot going on, but yours has a bit of a mood to it, I think, due to this very dark black end to the elephant trunk right there, looming over the rest of the image, particularly with this framing. Yeah, interesting stuff. Thank you for sharing that, and appreciate you sharing your images. Right then, guys, blimey, we've had a full-on Discord catch-up. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been a good little session. It looks like we've had a meridian flip as well, actually, while I've been chatting to you guys. Can we confirm or deny what's been going on there? Yes, we can. Have a look at that thing. Oof. That's a lot of edge pointing right up in the sky right there. Appears to be having that same old issue of taking too long to recover from divers, but yeah. Right, yeah, another great stream. Thank you, Stan. Appreciate that, mate. Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. I really hope that you've enjoyed yourselves on this stream. As always, oh, by the way, I just missed that Simon said hello as well. Crikey, I'm such a numpty. Simon, if you're still here, mate, I'm ever so sorry it's taken me so long to realise you've typed there. I had a great show past Saturday. Oh, fantastic. We'll have to catch up properly, Simon. Yes, I'll drop you a text if you do hear this. I'll do both versions in the future. Good stuff. Yeah, awesome. All right then, guys. Thank you very much indeed. I really hope you've enjoyed the stream. I hope you've enjoyed the feedbacks. And like I say, I feel really awkward giving feedbacks sometimes, because clearly a lot of you guys are better at this job than I am. So it's just a case of I try to help where I can from what I can see in my position. So yeah, that's the spirit in which feedback is offered, just purely from a position of I'd like to try and help you if at all I can. Yeah. Thanks for the kind feedback on my Heart Nebula. Have a lovely evening. You too, Joey. Also to power my rig. Oops. Oh, I just saw your message went missing there, Joey. But yeah, hope you have a cracking evening too. See you all on the next one. Thank you so much, Pete, by the way, for your support. Blimey, mate. And thank you again, Home Observatory. Thank you, everybody who donated and made this stream one to remember. That's for sure. You're absolute legends. And I really do appreciate you all. Truly, I do. Inspiration and feedback is always welcome. Great stream. Clear skies, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Right then, chaps, I think we'll leave it on a high note then. Always a pleasure. Look after yourselves. New video coming out this week. Probably going to be fairly boring for most of you, but I've got to put these things out there. 6-month review on the FF80. I'll show you what I thought about that. So yeah, have a good one. Look after yourselves. Thank you again, and clear skies.